2, 1.
Hello and welcome. This is another episode of the exciting Dungeons of Drakkenheim, created by the amazing Dungeon Dudes and shared with us to enjoy. We have our esteemed and amazing DM, Josh, running this game, and the rest of us get to play. We're just leveled up, and we are jonesing to get after this city hellscape super dungeon and see what danger and loot our foolish hearts and minds wistfully wander towards. But welcome, I'm Charm. This is the channel of Charmed Fantasy, and I'm here with my amazing peers and colleagues. We have Laurie over there, but a longtime player of mine on screen since season 1, off screen for many years before that, and a good friend and fellow creator of all things nerdy, Isaac. Yeah, feel free to plug anything you guys want to plug in before we hand it off to Josh. And if not, Josh, take it away.
Yep, I have very little to plug. I'll pass it on to the creators.
Wonderful. I didn't know if Isaac had any content or recent creations you wanted to throw out, because
have something fun. This is coming out next week, but I expect by the time this airs it'll be out. So I sometimes do adaptations of metal concept albums, and I've got a collaboration with Lords of the Trident coming out next week. That I think is going to be very fun on February 15th. And so that'll be available for free on my Patreon. It's an adaptation of their album, The Offering, which is this just really extremely D&D story of like a paladin of the guards the balance between chaos and order, and his fall into recusancy. And it's just I heard this, and it's like, oh, I got to do another one of these. And so I've got that coming out. And then I just recently released Howl to Ruin, the Book of Demons, which is like almost 300 pages of just crazy demon stuff. If you're running demons in your game, you need this book, and it's free. So get it on my website, confluxart.com. In the 5e resources section, where we also have handmade dice that my wife and I make. Sorry, that was a lot of plugging. I was excited about the thing.
No,
That's
what we
perfect.
want.
Yeah.
This is going to be in front of people and people who want to be a part of things like that. Can speak on both those dice and those stat blocks. My goal is to have all those dice, and my bonus goal for this year, for 2024, is to somehow incorporate every single one of those demons into different one-shots and mainstay campaign games before the end of the year. Every single one, because they are awesome.
Yeah. I have actively run stat blocks that Isaac has made, and they are fantastic, and they make people scared, and love that.
Right, as a player, my blood just ran cold. So, yay!
The stat block is right behind me, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can feel it breathing.
There is some kind of a feeling as a player when a monster does something that you really weren't expecting it to do, and it's just like, oh no, I don't have a frame of reference for this.
Especially long-term 5e players,
right?
It does something weird, and you're like, oh
I'm used to not being surprised. This is not a comfortable space for me.
Right. I purposely try to find ways to surprise veteran players or even veteran DMs. And I will have to say there's a personal huge dopamine joy to see the eyes widen and in recognition of the what kind of moment.
You get to do the new player thing all over again of like, oh, this is something I don't know. Let's find out. Let's gain the knowledge so we can wield it against this creature.
Yes. These fire-healed trolls and these mimics that take the position of dead adventurer gear so they may crawl upon us at the middle of the night.
Oh Oh yeah, I got the assassin mimic that pretends to be a health potion and then
Oh,
lodges
no.
in your throat when you try to drink it.
Oh, that's the
What?
barbs in your
That's
neck.
fantastic.
I'm like, what does that one look like?
You'll find
So
out.
this-
Anyway,
Like a,
so
like a health potion.
welcome to Dungeons of Drakkenheim. I am the problem. It's me. Sadly, didn't win a Grammy, so here we are again. Great. So everyone, welcome. This is what is this, episode 4. We're in episode 4 of Dungeons of Drakkenheim. A little bit of a recap, not a full recap, but a little bit. Our intrepid crew here found their way into Drakkenheim proper. Wandered a bit, kind of unsure of where to go. Got a little lost, but ended up finding a, quite frankly, massive shard of delirium, which is 10 out of 10. It is a find that not many find. Huge boon. And yet, the Intrepid 3, maybe it's naivete, maybe it's courage, maybe it's blind luck, also found their way to the Chapel of St. Brenna. Managed to, in skill, managed to work their way through the catacombs quickly to prevent any of the Queen's men and the followers of the Falling Fire to snag the rod of Saint Vitruvio, and took it for themselves, as well as a couple spoils from the catacombs, which, no harm, no foul on that one. Ingratiated themselves in a strange way to the followers of the Falling Fire, in a kind of an open-ended way, which is kind of how you want to play the factions in Drakkenheim, a little fast and loose. Quickly made their way out of Drakkenheim, found yet another kind of spoil of the city, a couple pieces of art that could sell for a pretty penny, and then made their way out of Drakkenheim towards Emberwood Village, while discussing their next kind of plan of attack. So I will turn it to our Intrepid 3 here, with the kind of at the top note, which I had mentioned before we actually started. The order that Erasmus, I'm going to say belongs in big air quotes, to, is the Knights of the Silver Order. They have a camp outside of town alongside the haze itself, so maybe about 2 miles away from Emberwood Village, called Camp Dawn, and that's where they tend to find themselves. So it's up to you of where you would like to go. Emberwood Village is kind of in front of you. It will take, not much longer to get to Camp Dawn if that is your direction, but I will leave it up to the 3 of you as we go ahead and kick off episode 4.
Erasmus, aka Ghost, will be feeding his beautiful auburn-haired raccoon, Olive, her favorite thing, olives. I'm really glad I didn't name her eyeballs or like fingers. In any case, I would fit in Drakkenheim. So I will look to my peers as I kind of carry this fully wrapped walking stick. That is actually the staff of Saint Vitruvio. And really wanting to get this out of my hands into the hands of those who could, I believe, properly entrust us and reward us with the greatest value of every single different thing that we each are looking for. So my character will say, if we go to the Camp Dawn, we can get rid of this and perhaps get a better lead on opportunities ahead. And if we're looking to sell the arts, which I'm very keen to do as well, the less we're burdened with things that could be looted off of our eagerly killed corpses, the better.
Yes, if we're trying not to get murdered,
As a rule.
relieving ourselves of large jangling
murder
art
magnets.
objects. Yes.
So we're in agreement. One goal: not get murdered. Great. I think that's
Everyone
good.
put their hands in.
Right?
Not today, at least.
No murder today. No murder today.
Oh.
Yeah, Ghost. Uh, yeah, I agree
And
with you.
yeah, I think there's nothing to be
Right.
gained by waving this scepter around in Emberwood. I think that could go quite poorly for us. But I certainly leave it to your judgment.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the silver Ghost, the Silver Order has been good to you, and they've seen you, and they've seen us some. Uh,
I,
I feel comfortable. I feel comfortable going there as much as I trust anything here, which
I'm a
that feels
knight.
good.
I'm a knight errant among their ranks. I've helped out with a lot. I've gone with them in and out of the city a few times, and on one such occasion, I was the last survivor. Um, but with that said, they know where my heart is. So, um, I do want to tell you that my hope is that we each and all get some degree of recognition or material gain without losing anything in this exchange. So if there's something you don't want them to consider too powerful for being in our hands, aka a precious little gem that we might have picked up,
Mm-hmm.
we might need to just somehow not bring that into in their field of awareness, whether it's not bringing you into camp at all. I don't trust leaving it anywhere.
Oh, don't worry. I have a I have a plan for this. And yeah, I'm going to just add another layer of beeswax, right? So like I've got the beeswax and then the cloth kind of covering that, and I'm just gonna add another layer of beeswax, and then just cover it in just lint, from all of my like kind of like unkempt robes. I'm gonna use it like a lint roller really quick and just so it's now just a slightly sticky and linty ball that's sort of soft and feels like there might be something hard inside. Not the kind of thing that anyone would get too excited about without a detect magic.
I'm gonna like help you by like putting like clumps of your own old laundry in from your pack on it and around it, like it's just a lump of dirty clothes.
You go to do that. I don't have a second outfit.
Let me check my stuff.
While you're doing that,
Let's
Isaac,
see.
do you have what is your focus? Like, how do you cast spells? Is it a staff or?
It is a like it is a slightly battered but like just kind of like extremely polished wand.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like like it's kind of like an overlong wand. Like it probably doesn't need to be this long, but it's just quite long for the drama of like pulling it out of a sleeve, and people will think, wow, how did he fit it in that sleeve? It's so long. And
Clearly magic.
yeah,
A collapsible wand.
So much
It just
power. So
shoot.
much power.
it's glossy dark wood. You can see where there used to be a little bit of silver inlay, and you can see where there probably used to be a lot of silver inlay, and
You,
now
like,
there's a
sold it?
small amount.
Yeah.
No, it just wore
Shades
off.
off,
It was
yeah.
thin. It was cheap.
Okay. Okay.
I love
Okay. Okay. Good
the
enough.
idea
Good
of
enough.
someone who sold pieces of their arcane focus.
Yeah, like shaved it off slightly to like pick.
Just hard
Times are hard,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Exactly. Times are hard.
And where do you, out of curiosity, where do you keep that? It's like on your belts, in your back.
I think I have like just a little like sleeve pocket.
Cool, okay.
And I just have
Okay.
to be careful how I hold my arms because my elbows don't bend quite right while it's in there.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
What's that
Just kind of like
over there?
Yeah. It just like flies.
I think I've done a lot of practicing on the like shake the arm to like dislodge it thing. I don't get it every time, but when I pull it off, it's very impressive. I think.
That's funny. Okay. Cool. Great. I just wanted to double check that. So. Okay. Awesome. So what is the current game plan? Camp Dawn?
Camped on, and
So
then
off to
depending
camp down.
on what they tell us,
Mhm.
hopefully I want to get some cool mission plans as this is our life. This is our life is just basically trying to make a dent, make a difference, or make money. And then if, of course, to unload the art before we go on the next mission and use that money divided amongst us to equip ourselves as needed with spell components or healing potions, whatever we can get.
I'm incredibly hyped. This has been a better payday. Like in one day of adventuring, this is more than like a year of my Amethyst Academy stipend.
Yeah.
He's so enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta fight a saint mummy.
Yeah,
Gotta explore a tomb.
That was fabulous. It's going in my memoirs. And absolutely
The fabulous
nobody got
tales of
seriously
Phalanx.
Like Gilderoy Lockhart, how I single-handedly defeated a mummy.
Yeah.
Um,
That'll be like chapter
I did-
3, how to defeat a saint mummy.
for the DM, I did get a new formula.
Okay.
And as for the audience, I am an apothecary, and I don't think we even told the audience like what we are. But level 4 apothecary, and I'm reflavoring my mutagenist features instead of like an alchemical monster abomination to be more of like a saint possession sort of situation. My newest formula is called inoculation. I get resistance to necrotic damage. My hit point maximum can't be reduced, and I am immune to disease. I guess that interaction with the mummy kind of freaked me out. So I like to think that I'm now like somehow inoculated from all diseases from the spiritual blessing of my saint. But yeah,
Powerful.
that is very powerful.
Very cool.
Great.
Yeah. I'm playing Phalanx the Curious, a wizard of no particular persuasion, also level 4, and yeah, just vibing.
Perfect. Also vibing is Ryan Deline over here, who's a warlock, cosmic patron, which is something from the Drakkenheim book. Powers come from, well, a great patron in the cosmos, and she is almost singularly focused on the elimination of the monsters in Drakkenheim because she doesn't see a path forward for much as long as the monsters continue to be created here in the city from the delirium. So she's hoping she gets to go hunt some monsters.
Perfect. Right, we go to Camp Dawn.
Excellent. All right. So it's essentially the end of the day. About sunset, probably a little past it. Sky's still a little light, but nothing to speak of. It's just getting darker as you approach. Erasmus, you've been here. This is where you live, right? This is a very familiar sight to you. Ryan and Phalanx, you may have not been to Camp Dawn. Obviously, you've heard of it, but you may not have actually been to the camp itself. The Knights of the Silver Order are kind of like I was explaining in the preamble beforehand. They are the sword arm of the Sacred Flame Church. So this is very much a military encampment. You approach, there's the wooden kind of spike barricades kind of surrounding it. There's only 1 or 2 ways into the camp. There are guards posted. Basically everything that you would need to have set up in order to protect properly a forward camp towards Drakkenheim. As you approach in the lessening light, you see at this point, everyone in the camp you can kind of consider them all knights because they wear a lot of heavy armor, a lot of plate armor, very polished with, quite frankly, an inch of its life. Like, they are shining examples of the light in Drakkenheim. The only people who are not in that category are the people who wear the robes of the Flamekeepers or have goals to be a Flamekeeper, like Ophelia Reed that you had met on your way out to Drakkenheim. That's kind of their persuasion. A lot of priests or kind of almost monks in that arc. So as you approach the camp, you see a knight, kind of gleaming armor, sword at hip, shield on back, kind of standing at attention. This is not a lax military camp, Erasmus. This is very much a normal thing. You may not camp within the actual camp itself. You may not find yourself actually within the camp, but this is a very normal interaction for you. But the three of you approach, you see this kind of staunch knight standing there, gleaming armor, and underneath the kind of polished and almost like gold trimmed helm. It's a little faded, so you can kind of tell it's a little fake gold. It's just a little paint. Kind of a ponytail rests over their shoulder, kind of pulled down. And they're standing kind of at attention, and they see you on the road, and they see you approach, and they step into the middle of the road, and then they unclasp their hands from in front of them and put them on their waists and kind of put one hand up. And you hear a woman's voice speak to you and say, halt, what business have you encamped on?
Knight errant ghost reporting to bring a very important find for the Lord Commander.
And you see her step forward. At this point, you recognize who it is. This is a knight named Claudia. And you recognize just because of the kind of dirty blonde hair ponytail, which is how she tends to mark who she is without taking her helmet off. Kind of walks closer to you. Claudia.
And this is someone known to Erasmus from his associations?
Okay. Yeah, because he spends a lot of time around and in the camp. You two wouldn't know this person. Maybe you've seen them around, but you wouldn't know their name or anything about them.
So she Knight Captain Theodore Marshall would want very much to have the private nature of this expedited to him as quickly as possible.
And you see that the knight walks up to you, not within like melee range of you, but like close enough to like speak and kind of still on guard. This is a very professional encounter. And speaks to you and says, "Well, knight errant ghost, it is good to see you safe. I heard that you were going into the city. I'm glad that you've made it out in one piece. And, well, you can come and go as you please, but who are your friends? If you were going to see the Knight Captain, I need to know who they are and what their business is within Camp Dawn."
Friends, they've definitely saved my life, and I've saved theirs, but they can be defined by more professional standards, of which I'll let them introduce.
Yes, hello. I'm Thales the Curious. Lovely to meet you. I'm an advisor of young Erasmus here and confidant. Lately of Toadsfield, and before that, the Amethyst Academy. My association with them at the moment is somewhat loose, despite the attire. I apologize if it's uncouth. I didn't have a change on hand. But yes, happy to be here. Happy to be helping out in the effort to restore the city to safety and uncover its mysteries.
Haley's, they don't know my name.
Oh goodness! Ghost, I said, ghost.
And yes. you see she kind of like tilts her head, and you can kind of tell there's like a smile underneath the helmet. You cannot see it, but it's kind of the vibe. It's just kind of like,
her and I go, Claudia, or Sir Claudia, whatever, how her like proper addressing of her rank and position. Please don't tell anyone my name.
Your secret's safe with me, Ghost.
My goodness, Ghost, I'm so sorry.
That being said, and turns back to you, Thales.
Not to do that again.
And turns back to you, Thales, and says, "You are not permitted within the camp. Should you have your focus on you."
Oh, well, can I surrender that?
Ghost can keep it for you.
Oh, lovely.
only due to his knight errant status within the camp.
I'm going to like do my trick, and realizing only a little bit too late. This probably comes off as very threatening.
Yeah, it very much you do it, and she kind of like half pulls her sword out, but it's she kind of expects it, right? It's kind of like one of those things of like, oh, you were told to surrender your thing, and you do it, but you can see that like it's tilted, her sword's tilted forward and pulled out in like. Ghost, you've seen skill with a sword before. This is like Phalese wouldn't be able to step forward without being cut down by Knight Claudia.
The fact that she hasn't drawn yet is a testament to her confidence.
Yeah.
That even at this moment she could still get
100%. 100%.
And I'm going to give it a little twirl and then hand it over to Ghost.
And she kind of it's like she tilted her scabbard forward and was about to pull it out, and she tilted back up, but her hand still rests on the hilt.
I think his wisdom is trash. I don't think he even noticed.
Yeah. This is all for Erasmus at this point. This is just like walking on
tightrope. He hasn't like hung out with other sword guys.
Yeah.
He's got a nice ass sword on his back right now, right?
And to be noted, didn't care about that. The big sword on Phalese's back is not a concern of Claudia's.
Amazing.
She clocked the Amethyst Academy robes. It was like, give me your fucking wand, or we're gonna have a problem.
So I will take his wand, and like there's a part of Ghost that flicks across the face of someone who had dreamt of being a knight wielding such sticks as this wand as a fake sword, and I kind of give it like a swish for a moment before putting it in my belt or something.
Sir Claudia turns to you, Rayan. It says, "What about you, Wanderer? I've seen you about."
Yes, I've seen you as well. Please call me Rye. I have been spending time with ghosts. We've been fortunate to come across one another. My focus here in Drakkenheim, very transparent. My family was killed by the monsters, and I am very pleased to spend as much time as I can hunting and slaying monsters here in the city. And at the same time, doing what I can to protect others who feel the need to be here, may not be able to protect themselves. So I travel with Ghost.
Excellent. And on your finishing of your description, she lets go of her hilt and kind of leans back and says, "Well, all right. You said you had important news, Ghost.
Very important.
For the Knight Captain. You know where he is. He's in his camp. He's in his tent.
Right.
As he is at every hour of the day. Also, it's getting late. There might be dinner for you there. Ask when you get in. Doesn't look you've eaten in 2 years. So get yourself some food."
I am going to reach into my pack and hand her a single vial of holy water. And I say, "Holy water from the temple of St. Brenna. I got some for you." And
you see she takes it and she actually flips her like kind of eye cover up. And it's just, quite frankly, for her age and for her rank, it's almost the face of a young girl. Like it's younger than she should be, right? Covered in just dirt and grime, brilliant blue eyes, and this kind of like dirty blonde hair that's kind of a sweat streaked back because she hasn't taken her helmet off in probably a week. Flips it back and looks at this and looks back at you and says, "From the Chapel of St. Brenna, huh?"
Yeah, cause you're always looking out for me, and I want you to know I'm looking out for you too. We're comrades.
This is a mighty gift, Ghost. My thanks to you. And kind of flips the novel down and the hood down, and it actually gives you, for the first time, like in a long time, gives you a formal salute. So passes the bottle off and kind of puts it on her waist, and then gives you the formal salute, which is reserved for knights and above.
Right.
And
Oh,
kind of
shit,
bows
yeah.
her head as she kind of lets you into the camp and steps aside.
I'm
I
I'm
I
gonna
will
lean
return
in
the sword.
and loudly whisper, "Keep it quiet." But Ghost actually recovered the scepter of Saint Vitruvio.
I'm going to
And
stab him.
And
Just
you
gonna.
as you move forward, it's she kind of like turns, she's like, "What?" And then it just
Gentle, I'm old.
yeah.
And
And I'll just
she-
start coughing.
and she's close to my age, right? Like I'll older.
she's
obviously.
she's a little older, yeah, maybe about
Like, she'd be
two
like,
two
what,
to 4 years
22
older, yeah,
for-
give or take.
Oh wait, how old? How much?
So
if I'm
you're
17,
17.
18.
She's probably 21, 22.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I just give her like a look, like you're trustworthy. Thank you, and just kind of immediately just kind of like get the migraine that as I look to Fayles and just go, just wait till we just treat this as an opportunity to learn about what my Amethyst Academy is like and how out of my element I would be at your place. This is how out of element you are at mine.
Well, to be perfectly honest, I was a little out of my element at my place as well. But
Fair.
let's continue onward. I shall be a silent companion.
I appreciate that. You will be the shadow of a ghost from here on.
Oh, very dramatic. I love it.
So as you enter Camp Dawn, Erasmus, you've seen kind of the layout of the camp before. Obviously, you kind of fall asleep to it most evenings. Hustle and bustle here and there. Very much a military camp. But for the other two of you, what you see quite a few things. Actually, you see a stables with massive war horses. Not just horses like they pull wagons and things like that. I mean, these are beasts of like fighting beasts. These are meant to go into battle. They are trained to do so. That are either armored or not, depending on the current state of the. I forget the term for the person who takes care of the horses, but
Farrier.
Farrier.
Mm-hmm.
Farrier. So on the current, like, he's working down the line, right? And so current kind of process of the farrier. Working on that, you pass by what looks to be a supply tent. So not necessarily a shop, but more so like a tent that has a bunch of supplies with obviously a quartermaster in it, kind of organizing, clipboard, the whole nine, kind of keeping track of stuff. You pass by an armory, which is a separate section that has weapons and armor kind of lining it. So you could tell that this is very organized, very set up. There's a lot of, should you need to ride into battle, this is the place that you would want to stop first to go and get stuff to go into battle. One of the things that you actually see as you pass through this area, and it kind of catches the eye, and it's far in the back. Erasmus, you actually haven't seen this very often. You've heard it, but you haven't seen it because it's so tucked kind of in the back of the camp. You see and hear griffins tucked far in the back, and it
cool.
almost looks like another stable for those who would fly griffins, kind of tucked kind of into the back
Like
of the camp.
That's amazing.
And you know where Knight Captain Theodore Marshall is. He's very much like military camps of old. His tent's right in the middle. Very much like a walk up to his camp or to his tent. It's a multi-room tent. So you walk up to it, 2 guards out front. Not knights, but 2 guards. You walk up and they see you, and they're a little bit more cordial. They're less less formal than Claudia was, and just go, Ghost. Well, it's great to see you here, and with company. And they kind of like tilt their head specifically at Fayles. You are wearing the robes of the Amethyst Academy, so
Yeah.
and they see you and kind of like do like a interesting, and then they turn back to you and say, do you have business with the Knight Captain?
Of a most urgent, timely manner. Yes, please.
Excellent. You caught him at the perfect time. He was just served dinner. I don't know what he's doing now. Obviously, he doesn't have any guests or advisors. So you're welcome in. Just announce yourself when you go in. And you know the drill. You've met him before. He's in a good mood today, actually. Surprisingly, we've had some solid victories. So you're in luck. Whatever news you might have, you're in luck. He's in good mood. And they kind of open the tent flap next to them.
Right.
I'm just gonna let
I say, could you please watch my friend from the Amethyst Academy while we're in there? I would greatly appreciate that.
And you see, they both kind of like cinch up on their staff and go,
Oh, I don't mind. I can come in.
absolutely.
I just want to make sure that he's very keen on inviting
Oh,
mages,
yes, no, of course.
that
I
sort of
see.
thing.
Yeah, no trouble at all. I'll wait out here and keep these fine knights company.
All right.
Excellent. And you see, they kind of like they are now at full attention. They're just staring at you. They're like locked in, but they still have the tent flap open for you.
Well, we'll see if what the Knight Captain Marshal says shortly. Be right back. And then grab Ryan and just drag her in.
Yeah,
They don't even.
I'm
It's not
going
even.
in.
Yeah, you don't. They don't even like. They're locked in on the mage, right? They're like, there is a mage here.
I'm trying to create this awkward moment,
Yeah.
basically, of just two guards and a mage.
Yeah. So you duck in and they quickly close the flap and they kind of just pull their spears across their chest. Like they locked down now. So you enter the tent, and in the first room, it's actually empty. It looks like it's kind of more of a meeting room. There's a table in the center, but it looks like it's more of a set table, chairs around this table. There doesn't seem to be anything terribly important around it. No important missives or anything like that. It just kind of seems a table to sit, have a drink, talk, for having those conversations. There are two kind of side rooms, and the room off to the right looks like it's a bed chamber. It's got like wolf skins and stuff in it. Like there's a bed in there, but most of those lights are out. There is a lit room to the left that's just behind another tent flap, and you do see a single figure kind of moving past that. And it almost seems like he's kind of standing or moving around a separate table in there.
Knight errants, ghosts, reporting urgent matters, sir.
And you see, as soon as you say knight errant, the flap just goes, whoop, and you see behind him a couple candles on this table, and it looks like, from what you could tell with a quick glance, like troop movements in Drakkenheim. Like there's this large wall, essentially a map that's laid on the table, and then 3D style walls around it, and
that's
different kind of troop movements around the outside of the wall. And he opens, he goes, ghost. Kind of steps out and closes the flap behind him. And
playing
company.
Warhammer again, sir? No, I'm kidding.
You know me. Imperial Guard all the way. This is for the Emperor,
Cadia stands, sir.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes, of course, Knight errant ghost.
Right,
yes.
No, I actually say, greetings, sir. I'm here with, you might remember my friend Ryan, but I have a new compatriot who I brought into camp, a member of the Amethyst Academy. I didn't
yes,
want
the mage. Yes, yes, I've heard ghost. Yes, I've heard.
Oh, you have. All right. Very good, very good. If, with your permission, I'd have him join this meeting. Otherwise, if it's not critical, understandably move to the urgent matters as spoken.
Does he have his focus? Do you have his? Where is his arcane?
I have his focus, and I point to the stick.
He can come in. He can come in. And he kind of like gestures over you, but kind of goes, "Let him in," to the door. And you see the two guards kind of not only open it, but they also turn, like they're flanking the opening, so that it's very clear that you're allowed in, but if you mess about,
Bailey's takes a deep exhale as he gives up on trying to make small talk with these guys, and just kind of ducks in. And before they're even finished turning, he just kind of runs in and just kind of stumbles up next to Ghost. And he's just, yes, hello, it's a pleasure. Bailey's the Curious, lovely to meet you. Yes. How far in? Have you told me yet?
No, not yet. I just want to make sure you could be here.
Oh, thank you so much. This is exciting. This is exciting for you too.
he's just kind of standing there and he's doing one of these. He's like, well, this is going to be an interesting meeting. He's just, he kind of settles back down. He sets up a couple, mugs, just kind of rough wooden mugs, and just quickly pours a quick drink of, wine over the top of all four, kind of spilling some on the table, and takes one for himself and says, help yourself. Should you want a drink? I heard that you were just in Drakkenheim, Ghost.
I
kind of
was,
sits in his chair as you stand in front.
As you know, I've been a great supporter of the Silver Order. Not that I have made all that much of a difference in the time that I have, but learning a lot from Gerald before his disappearance, his passing, his loss into Drakkenheim.
And he kind of salutes and then takes a sip at the mention.
Yeah,
of
I will do that absentmindedly, oh yeah, that's a thing that people do, inexperienced wise. But my compatriots and I, we've had unbelievable success this most recent journey into Drakkenheim. We went into the heart of the beast and found the chapel of Saint Saint Brenna, and we came across some what looked to be a strike team of Queensmen, and circumvented them without being detected. I used my ways of perception with my friends to help solve a few riddles and pick a few locks and enter into a alternative route while the main gates were being, it looks like, sieged. When we got there, we were able to hold off the siege with a combination of magic and might and quick reflexes along with thinking to keep the Queensmen out, protect the people who were apparently making some sort of pilgrimage or something inside. All of this culminating into a perilous experience, fighting the mummified form of what I can only imagine was Saint Brenna, cursed by the dark magic of Drakkenheim, or I don't know. But all of this to say,
are good.
I just needed to put her down respectfully, yes. As I have a great reverence for all the saints of Drakkenheim, as you know. I pray to them. It was startling to see one in such an undead state, but the greatest discovery of all was finding myself worthy of bringing this all the way through those dangers to you, sir. And I unveil like Elrond does for Aragorn of unveiling Narthiel. I hold out the staff of Saint Vitruvio and a kneel, offering it, knowing that bringing such a gift like this, kneeling is such like a thing that wouldn't, like, not kneeling wouldn't have been a thing, kneeling wouldn't have been a thing, but Ghost is just so eager to be a part of knighthood, not knighthood in the traditional sense of like a foolish, sword swinging, horse riding person, but just being a part of a organization that actually can be there for him, as these people have, that he wants to show a degree of presentation and respect that he feels this holds weight.
I think I see you drop, and I'm just like, oh, and then I'm like, wait, are we kneeling? I'm gonna kneel as well.
I'm not.
I'm kind of like gonna half rise up and then go back down.
Oh, you're muted, I think.
Sorry, I'm literally I was asking for it. I was like, Ryan, are you kneeling too? Is like what's going on? Are you standing there like what is going on?
I'm observing first. I'm looking at them and I'm looking at him and I'm waiting to see, is this, waiting for not Drexel. Hold on.
Theodore. I literally
Marshall.
have his name right there. Marshall. Theodore Marshall.
Marshall, got it. Waiting to see what his reaction is.
Go ahead and roll insight. All of you who would like to do so.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll roll this, but I'm more like, I'd like more like a read on. Oh well, it doesn't matter too much. I was trying to get a read on Erasmus, trying to figure out like how confident he is that this is what we're supposed to be doing. But I got a natural 1.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
He trips. 17.
17. Okay.
I only got, well, I didn't only get, I'm not proficient, but I still rolled well. 17.
17. Okay, great. So the entire time you've been talking, there's been an interesting conflict on the Knight Captain's face. It's the minute you start talking about your adventures, he's kind of sitting back and relaxing. He's having, kind of some sips of his drink and listening. And you mention the Chapel of St. Brennan, and he goes, okay, and kind of leans forward and puts his cup down, and you see him tent his fingers a little bit and kind of goes like, okay, because 1, we've been trying to get there. 2, it's like a secret word. Like you just mentioned a secret plan that like you didn't know existed. So now Knight Captain's locked in. You're like, what did you do at the Chapel of St. Brennan? You know what I mean? Like, what did you screw up a problem? Like, what did you do?
Right.
And so it's kind of locked
Kill
in.
our team?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And so it's like, like interesting. Like this person isn't fully in the fold, but like decently close. And so it wouldn't be like they wouldn't do it on purpose. But like, did you lead them astray? Did you cause undue stress for me in the future? Like, what
Right.
what did this
Right.
kid do now to
Right.
make plans? And it kind of leans forward. And keep in mind, Knight Captain Theodore Marshall is kind of an imposing figure, right? Even now, where it's starting to get, night, where there's no reason to wear it, he is wearing gleaming plate that is trimmed with actual gold. So this is an imposing figure, even if he's relaxing. And so he kind of leans forward and starts to become a little bit more attentive and listens to your story about the followers of the Falling Fire and the Queen's Men, and you get to Saint Brenna herself and the fact that you cleansed her, and he kind of, his face goes from like a, I don't know if this is the correct story, like what problems did you cause me, to like a interesting, like it's becoming more believable as you tell it. And
Right.
you go and you tell this kind of full arc, and you end with pulling out the scepter and holding up in front of him, and he just kind of just does, he's like, interesting. What in God's name? He kind of like leans back and is sitting staring at you. There's like half a second where he is just kind of awestruck, and then immediately is on his feet, and is standing in front of you two kneeling. Obviously, Scalise with kind of like a, I don't know what's happening, we're gonna kneel. But Erasmus Ghost just fully presenting the scepter, and he's standing in front of you with this holy artifact. Like you are holding like the shroud of Turin in front of this.
Right.
Like, he is locked in.
I've gone through this whole experience not trying to be like, we were the smartest, we were the fastest, we were the best. I said we were fast, we were quick thinking, we were clever, we were safe, but I also wanted to be like, there was like a wholly chosen element that Erasmus strictly believes, because he doesn't think he's alive for any other reason of being. Like he knows he's not the best at almost anything. He's seen people better, stronger, faster, smarter enter Drakkenheim and die. So in his mind, he's like, there's got to be a divine intervention element. And so he's just presented this as like, this isn't me, this is the will that I'm presenting.
I think Scalise would interrupt with, nonsense, sir. young Ghost here was extraordinarily competent and adept, and led us through faithfully, with no injuries sustained on any of our parts, through a situation that could have been quite deadly, with any kind of slower thinking or worse judgment.
There is, I think you see him hear that, but it kind of falls by the wayside. Like it's taken in, measured. Like, okay, cool, yeah, I heard it. But he's like staring at the scepter now. He is like locked in, and he kind of like his hands reach out, and for the first time, Erasmus, you see his hand shaking.
Epic! I was hoping that
And
you'd say that.
he kind of like grabs the scepter from your hands and kind of lifts it up, and you can tell that he lifts it, but it doesn't move and cannot lift it. And he kind of goes, and kind of pulls his hands back and kind of looks at his hands, and they're no longer shaking. He's done with the shaking. He's moved past that moment quickly. He kind of looks at you and kind of rubs his hands together, and gauntleted hands. He's not just got like regular hands. You know, he's like still fully like ready to go.
Yeah, he's like a chapter master for the space.
100%. He's like locked in, and looks over at you, and there is a level of awe, I think, between the scepter, which is a big deal, right? The scepter of San Vittorio is a huge deal. But there's a level on top of that, which, if you remember from last session, this scepter, without being attuned to it, weighs 700 pounds. If you are not exuding light, this scepter weighs 700 pounds. You are attuned to it. You are not exuding light. He is not exuding light, and he cannot lift it with his hands. And so he attempted to lift it off of your hands and couldn't do it. And so he kind of pulled back almost like in shock, but like in reverent shock. And he's like, this is an interesting change in what's going on.
This is like such a storybook moment where someone's like, this sword of Excalibur must be chosen. The boy must have this.
It turns out that just nobody knows how
it works.
The stone works.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's happening. And so he's like, interesting. Knight errant ghost. Your story is, to most, unbelievable. The three of you entering the cursed city of Drakkenheim, one, and surviving is a miracle. Stumbling across and racing to the finish, upon happenstance, two strike teams, in your words, of other, and he kind of rolls his eyes at this, factions, and beating them to a holy relic such as this is nigh unbelievable. And yet here you sit, presenting this scepter to the Knights of the Silver Order. And further interesting, as I cannot seem to take it from you, can you place the scepter upon the table? And he kind of gestures to the table and ready.
I stand up.
Gonna be okay?
And I put it on the table.
Okay. And you notice that even though when you try to pick it up, he tries to pick it up, it's like 700 pounds. It doesn't break into the table.
No.
Oh,
It just, I know. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. It's
like Mjolnir.
It sits there and he goes, interesting. Well, what? And he's no longer looking at you. So he's addressing you while staring at the scepter, as if he's like trying to kind of like riddle out what's going on here. Are you delivering the scepter of Saint Vitruvio to the Knights of the Silver Order, Knight Errant Ghost?
I am, with my full faith that this is why this was a purpose that I have happily served.
Very well. And he kind of walks around the other edge of the desk and goes to the front of the tent and leans out, and you hear him whisper, fetch Flamekeeper Ophelia Reed immediately to the guard outside, and then closes the flap, just knowing that that's going to happen, and walks back to the desk and says, you have done a great service to the Knights of the Silver Order this day, Knight Errant Ghost. You have always been worthy of as being a member of our order. I need to make that clear. Your desires, your skill, and your sheer will to help us cleanse the cursed city is not without note. This is a mighty, mighty gift. And I think you, of all people, know its importance to the followers of the Sacred Flame.
I do.
You will be aptly rewarded for this. And we, quite frankly, what is happening right now is you are attuned to it. We are going to have to break that attunement, and we are going to have to put it into our vaults and store it because it is a holy relic. As I do not misjudge people making even rash decisions in times of need. Attuning to the scepter is not great. However, that doesn't mean that you have done wrong. It means you did what was necessary to retrieve the relic. And of that I am exceedingly grateful. If you continue on like this, you may find yourself to be a full knight within the Silver Order. And this puts you quite heavily into our favor. If I'm being honest with you, and kind of like steps over to his little like tent flap where he had like the map, and opens it and says, one of these is a strike team heading to the Chapel of St. Bruno right now to retrieve the very object you have just placed on my desk. They will need to be recalled, and they will need to be... we'll give them latrine duty. We'll do that. And kind of closes the tent flap and says, to being beaten to their goal by a knight errant, I think that's an appropriate punishment. Nothing quite serious, but gotta make it a little fun for everybody. Please stand, and kind of gestures you to stand, and gestures to the cups and says, you have done the Knights of the Silver Order a great benefit this day, Knight Errant Ghost, and each of you, and for the first time since you entered Camp Dawn, Phalles the Curious, you get an actual like Knight of the Silver Order like acknowledgement that you are above the robes that you are wearing, and he kind of holds the kind of one of his rough-hewn goblets out to each of you, as like a cheers.
Don't mind if I do.
And kind of gives you each a clink. Whether you drink it or not is irrelevant. He kind of clinks it and then takes a small sip, and says, you should feel free as you leave. The Flamekeeper will arrive very, very shortly, Knight Errant, and will need to avail you of your attunement. That being said, wherever you will go to spend the evening, know that it is on us. You do not have to spend any money. The Knights of the Silver Order will cover it, whether you spend it in Emberwood, and he kind of rolls his eyes, or you spend it here in Camp Dawn. It's your call. But please stop by the suppliers in the armory to get your rewards. I will write them special orders to give you your just reward. And also, for taking the initiative, stop by the stables, and we will figure out an appropriate reward for delivering such a holy artifact to the Knights of the Silver Order.
And at this point, like all this talk of like gold and glory has just like, at the end of the day, like Erasmus is not the child that people look at him as. That part of him is, I wouldn't say dead, not to be melodramatic, but I would say it's had to be evolved out of him by the trauma of Drakkenheim. This is very traumatic place.
But a horse.
Literal monsters, just hopelessness, death, ruin, and not just any ruin, like a place people go to visit and go, tourist kind of, horrific. But this was his home. And the one, I would say, thing that he continuously probably made a point to do is spend time at the stables. And like really like try to build familiarity with a few people like Claudia and the stable master, to teach him what he could about the almost like inadvertently being given animal therapy in a stable is basically what has Erasmus, most excited than anything, to have his own horse, his own steed.
Oh, absolutely.
Um,
That'll help us.
And so a couple minutes pass, and you see quickly Ophelia Reed steps through the open. It's a couple minutes. You're sitting there and you're speaking, and then the tent flap kind of swings open, and Ophelia Reed walks in, and doesn't address you immediately. Is more so kind of focused in on one, the Knight Captain, and two, the Scepter of St. Vitruvio on the table, and walks in. Kind of glances over you, looks at the Knight Captain, looks at the Scepter, and then immediately locks in on the three of you and just goes, "Oh my. Well.
It was mostly him.
That was quite an adventure into the city."
Give yourself credit. It was everyone.
Interesting. Excellent. Who is attuned to the Scepter? Of
I
course
raised
it
my
is.
hand.
And she kind of walks over to you and kind of touches both, and you feel the attunement break.
I feel a sense of loss on some level. Like if my character really leaned into using this item, I would be weeping. Like if I was like, there's another. The actual irony is the other character I was deciding between playing would have totally been like, screw this, we fight everyone to keep this item. So with Erasmus, he's just kind of feeling like a sense of important history. Connection to a saint is something that's, he's not sure if it's his own want or this very feeling of his own, the power that is very much kept a secret within him, is kind of lamenting that. He's not sure.
That is a lovely trick. I mean, I understand that I'm kind of an outsider right here, but perhaps one day you could show me how you did that, because my goodness, what a handy thing.
Well, it's not done without consent. I need to be clear. It's everyone involved needs to choose to let the item go.
I see. Well,
Yes, you cannot force an attunement.
Perhaps those bugs could be ironed out.
She kind of just looks at you like, interesting. Okay.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah. And looks at the Knight Captain and goes, "Theodore," and kind of bows and walks out the front door after eyeing the Scepter. But everyone can roll an insight check if you would like on that particular interaction.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Heck yeah.
Huh?
Woo!
16.
Oh, that's a 12.
That is that is a dirty 20.
Sweet. It wasn't a high DC. Wasn't very difficult. Knight Captain Theodore and the Flamekeeper Ophelia, High Flamekeeper Ophelia Reed, there are, within the Knights of the Silver Order, there are two legs. And one is the sword arm, and one is the faith book, right? They are on the same level as each other. So it was very much a look of like, you lose that scepter, me and you have problems. And me and you have big problems if you lose that scepter. So I'm not even going to ask you or tell you what to do with that scepter. You know that if something happens to that thing, it's me you gotta face. It was very much like, I'm not even going to worry about this because Knight Captain Theodore Marshall's got it. And kind of it's like a sign of respect. Doesn't even use his title because they are at this point peers. Uses his first name and then leaves, having accomplished what she was essentially summoned to do. Because
hope it wasn't a long walk.
Ophelia Reed goes to the chapel but stays in Camp Dawn.
Okay.
So it was summoning her from her quarters.
Okay, got it.
And the Knight Captain, addresses all of you and says, well, now I have to figure out how to get this into the guarded vault, and I will bid each of you farewell. And should you decide to bed down here in Camp Dawn or in Emberwood, just let everyone know to reach out to the Knights of the Silver Order for payment, and you will be rewarded. You will be any debts that you have with that will be fulfilled. And kind of looks at each of you and not zoning in on any particular person, just goes, and don't go crazy. And then kind of sits in his chair and kind of just stares at the scepter. It's
Which crazy? Like Drakkenheim crazy or like first time big success crazy?
Yes.
Yes. I will see him kind of dismissing us, and I will kind of salute. And I'm going to take one long kind of, in that long moment of every other interaction that I could, I want to have stolen glances at the Silver Order's map and try to pick out any other problem spots and see if I can kind of prime a request for another need. And I'll say,
I feel like we could probably talk to Ophelia Reed tomorrow.
oh, do you think Ophelia would be the person?
I
Did
mean,
miss?
definitely look. That'll get us somewhere we're not supposed to be. That'll be fun.
Right. I definitely see the potential for sure. So I'll say, if there's anything that you need, well, you have me, sir, and I hope to prove myself far and well beyond luck.
And you see, he's kind of zoning on the scepter, unsure kind of what he's thinking, but looks up and it's kind of over his, very like, what's that anime? Oh my god. With the robots, the big robots, with the angels.
Big robot anime.
Evangelion, where it's like his dad is like he's doing like this and he like looks up, right? And it's like very intimidating. So he's doing like this and he kind of looks up at you and says, "You have done well, Knight Iron Coast. You deserve an evening to relax. We will let you know. Should we
to the
need
brothel."
your-
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, that's not my first choice, but here we go. Anyway.
I'm immune to disease. I want to test this ability.
Yeah. And so it's very clear that, like, you can, like, he's dismissing you, and should he need your services, which at this point, you have now moved from, like, errand boy to, like, you are now officially a strike team. Like, you are a small, quiet,
right,
stealthy strike team to go into. You have earned your bones to be called on.
I don't think he's the guy in charge of delegating this, though, and he probably doesn't want to, like, do more work that isn't his job.
Oh, no, this is his job. That is his job.
Oh, sorry, I thought Ophelia Reed was the...
No, they're both in the kind of the same vibe. So they could both send you. But yeah, those are very much their jobs.
Right, so he's digesting a little bit right now.
Exactly. You just presented to him like the first gospel of Paul, and he's like, I can't give you a job right now. I got nothing. Like, what is going on? But go ahead and roll a a perception check to see if you can snag what's going on with the map of Drakkenheim. And any of you can do this.
That's a nat 20.
Nat 20. Love that.
So if you're looking
11.
for a total,
if we show up before the next strike team at the next thing, he's gonna think we're spies.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's gonna be like, they're Queen's men,
chosen
get rid of him.
by their god.
Effective spies.
Either way.
Yeah, I know. An intelligent person would
Just lean
say
over his shoulder,
spy.
like, hey, what's that?
A wise and intelligent person would be like, but maybe it is God.
No.
So.
Did that thing just get weird? That thing just got weird. It moved my images. Okay. That's okay. We do it live here. Because I have a different image pulled up. Okay. So what you see, when you're looking at it, is you see the outer wall of Drakkenheim. You see there are markers for the asteroid hit locations. One happens to be where you know that Castle Draken is, right? Everybody kind of knows where Castle Draken is. It's where the biggest meteoroid hit. Right. There's another crater somewhere else. There's a couple of these like large hotspots.
Okay.
The part that it looks like is like flagged as important, but doesn't seem to have that many troops around it, if that makes sense, is if you're looking at the map, which I think I sent to each of you, and you're looking at it with the title of Drakkenheim at the top, it is going to be to the west, outside the city. To give you a number, it is number 6.
Number 6.
There seems to be like some location there that seems to be important, but no one seems to be pushing that direction.
Okay. I got it.
So each of you can go ahead and roll. Well, each of you who have lived or grown up in Drakkenheim, so that would be Ryan and I don't know. I'm gonna say no to you, Erasmus. Right? I'm gonna say yes to Ryan because you were a baby when you left.
Right. Yeah. I have no formative memories.
So I'm gonna give Ryan this one, and I will give this also to you, Fales, if you want to roll it at disadvantage because you've just read about this one. Go ahead and roll a history check for me.
Okay, you get to play. Oh, okay. Holy crap! Thank you.
That's a 6 for me.
6. Great. You have no idea what's going on.
You
know that there is a wall and there's a city called Drakkenheim? No, I'm just kidding.
How about a 17 on history?
A 17, okay. So, Fales, a 6 doesn't get you... When Erasmus tells you this, it doesn't click. But when Ryan says the name, it clicks. Okay. Ryan, when you say the name Rat's Nest Tavern, things start to kind of click in place. Erasmus, it doesn't really hold a lot of weight for you. You've heard the name around, but it just seemed kind of like oh, okay. It's like the Clockwork Tower. You're like, yeah, okay, I know where that's in Drakkenheim. Like, okay, cool. Like, what's important about it?
Right.
Fales, you know where that is on the map, but you couldn't associate it in that area until the name was spoken. So when Ryan says that, it kind of locks in. And it was it was an area of the city that was kind of a bustling tavern and kind of one of the bigger ones outside of the wall. And it got hit pretty much directly by a shard of the meteor.
Oh, wow.
So there's nothing left of the tavern itself. That being said, you've heard a little bit of weirdness around it. Nothing too concrete, but that obviously a delirium meteor hitting a tavern and hearing weird rumors from that area, that is probably a pretty good indicator that something weird's going on there. It's not a surprise that would happen. But that's what each of you know of that particular area. It is called Rat's Nest Tavern.
Okay.
Great. So each of you move out of the tent, and you are now standing in the middle of Camp Dawn. Where would you like to go?
Supplies.
Okay, so you want to go
Supplies,
supplies or armory?
I mean, I think Erasmus is looking at him and his crew and thinking he's probably the only one who wears armor. So
It's true.
supplies, at the very least, can leave his friends there shopping. If he gets done early, he can go over to the armory.
Okay.
Definitely, if we get a permanent base of operations, I'd love to get a few suits of armor. But probably don't
This-
want to do any spell casting in those.
Not yet.
I'm so like confused by anything
this
he
has
said,
gone well.
but I'm just, yeah. It's like, why would he need a few suits of armor? Like, what?
Okay.
Ghost, focus on what we've got going on. This has been a good day.
So you.
As we're,
Yeah, go for it. Sorry, go for it.
It's nighttime now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can we see stars? What's it look like? Clear, cloudy, hazy, nasty.
We're still
Hard to
close
say.
Drakkenheim,
So-
right?
Yeah, you're much closer to Drakkenheim than like Emberwood is,
Okay.
and this is a forward camp, right? So you are like, you look towards Drakkenheim and you see the haze. It is a wall of haze. You
Is
look
this
up
off?
and you see stars.
Is this off the Temple Road, or is
So-
this
It's off the map. So it's between Emberwood Village and Drakkenheim, kind of off to
Okay.
the side. So there's no map for it.
Got it.
So the map that I'm showing now, it's not covering it. But the
Right,
road
but I
that
guess I
goes
should say
north,
which road.
so that
yeah,
you
where would I
go north
be?
past the watchtower and the chapel, across the river, like on the map, the Emberwood Village map.
Uh-huh.
If you go north across the river, and essentially you hook a road, it's kind of down that path.
Got it.
But it is a forward encampment. The main base of the Knights of the Silver Order is miles away. Emberwood is like a camp that they swing by. Camp Dawn is the forward camp of the fight against the corruption in Drakkenheim for the Knights of the Silver Order. So when you look outside towards Drakkenheim, if you're like, I'm gonna brood and I'm gonna stare at the enemy that we're fighting, it's like a wall of fog. Like you are like staring at like the fog Stephen King style, right? Like it is like a big deal. But you look up and there are stars. It's a nice clear night tonight. And you kind of see, wisps of the haze because it does expand slowly, but so slowly that it's not a big deal. But you just kind of see wisps of it a little bit.
How well are and like widely known are the effects of the haze? Or like how well understood would like the haze be within the Amethyst Academy?
Understood more so than the Knights of the Silver Order.
Mm-hmm. They'd be probably more interested in some parts of it because like I feel like a lot of the Knights of the Silver Order are like, well, like, that's not our problem.
It's more so like it's a curse. Like we need to get
Yeah.
rid of it. They're like, we don't
Yeah.
care what it does. We don't care what how magical it is. We need to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Amethyst Academy, very much like yourself, are like, well, that's fascinating. Like I wonder if we can examine it and take a look at it, and then if we deem it bad, we get rid of it.
And then also like we can't recover magical energies there. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's a thing we're real interested in.
Right.
100%. Okay, so you go into the supply tent, and you see the quartermaster. His name is Delilah. Sitting there making notes. Kind of an older woman. A little bit of gray, but still, it's not as heavy plate mail, but it's like chain mail. Kind of making notes and checking supplies, and kind of turns to you and goes, "Oh, Ghost. I just got a letter about you from the Knight Captain. Are you here to pick up your stuff?"
Yes. Please.
Ah, excellent. Okay. Give me just a second.
Fam.
They're quick. They don't mess around. And kind of steps in the back. You don't see. It's just a tent. It's like a long tent. It's not. She doesn't like disappear into a corner. You see, she kind of like takes a little box and starts to pull stuff off the thing. And you see she pulls bottles off the shelf. And you see she approaches this section the shelving that is just scrolls and paper, and kind of walks over there and goes, "Okay, so," and she kind of calls back to the front. So the Knight Commander said, or Knight Captain said, and kind of looks in her box, "You get 3 of these. Which ones do you want?" You can pick any spell from the cleric spell list, and you get 3 of those scrolls. Well, you can pick any 3 of those scrolls.
Of what level?
It straight up just says of a spell from the cleric spell list.
Oh,
So I'm gonna say your level.
Well, if I pick something that's higher than what I can cast,
There's a roll to cast it.
Right.
In that case, they probably wouldn't want to give you a scroll that you might just waste.
Exactly. So I'm gonna say the level that you could cast and below.
damn, that's just second level and below.
There's some good second level ones.
Absolutely.
And you get 3 of them.
Alright,
And it could be 3 different ones. It could be 3 of the same ones. It doesn't matter.
So
Do we figure that out now?
I'm gonna figure that out while we're doing the
Okay,
stuff.
great.
But I'm definitely thinking like spiritual weapon and stuff.
Okay.
So.
And she just pulls the scrolls off, pulls 3 of them off. Boom, boom, boom. You can decide those.
It has to be
amongst
3 of the
yourself later.
same. Like it can't be 3 different.
It could be 3 different. It could be 3 different.
Okay,
it could be
cool.
3 of the same. It could be 2 of the same. 1 different. Whatever combination is
on
up
it.
to you.
I'm on it.
And she kind of
My
walks back
goodness, we're
over
well stocked.
and just kind of puts this it's almost like a wooden crate, doom, on the thing. Is just, yeah, what pays to be prepared, and kind of pulls out the 3 scrolls, puts them on the counter, and pulls out 4 potions of healing, puts them on the counter in front of you,
Oh my god.
and says, "Okay, so that's what was commanded. They also said if you need any spell reagents or anything like that within reason, let me know. We got a couple. We don't really." Kind of eyes you, Phalese, and it's just like, that's not really our jam.
Oh, but fair enough.
But-
It's quite an esoteric tradition. Something that I could really use. I haven't spent a lot of time outside of public service and academia. I feel like these robes might be putting me in kind of an awkward social position.
Yeah,
Do you
I would say
just
that.
have like a set of clothes I could change into?
Absolutely. Do you want robes or do you want like a tunic?
Oh, some robes would be wonderful.
Excellent.
I like it breezy.
Perfect. And kind of walks in the back and just pulls just like a random cloak off, and it's just kind of brown with brown tassels and a kind of brown, and kind of hands it to you and says, "This is one of our cleric cloaks. I'm not even going to put it on the list. Just, if you're going to frequent the camp, wear this instead. It will go a long way in helping you."
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Not to say, and I need to be clear, and it's like one of those moments where like, it's very rare that the Knights of the Silver Order are this honest with someone from the Amethyst Academy, without like completely unmasked disdain. But they're like, she's just like, "Listen, I understand what you guys are doing, and I totally get it. That robe's doing you no favors. This will help, but it is a beautiful robe. So I gotta say, much better looking robe than this one. This one will help you more. So keep that one. But
brown. I might wear this one over. Just to avoid unnecessarily offending people.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. But keep that one. Don't toss it. That's a beautiful robe.
Certainly not. It's so hard to get a replacement one.
I can
There's like
only
all-
imagine. Yeah.
Like the bureaucracy at the Amethyst Academy is a nightmare. You have no idea how refreshing it is to just have somebody say, "Oh, these people need these things. Just hand it to them." That would have taken a month at the Amethyst Academy.
Yeah, we move a little quicker here. A little loosey-goosey here on the front lines of the war against the Cursed City. So
It makes sense. There, everyone's angling for tenure or promotion or just access to better classrooms. It's it's truly a terrible environment to work in.
Well, welcome to the fight. And kind of hands you the robe, kind of throws it over the potions, and says, "Well, if you need any kind of other supplies, let me know."
Could I please get? And I'm like gonna sheepishly ask, knowing
Yeah.
how like I hope I've earned enough brownie points for these, but 2 platinum rings, 50 gold each.
Ooh.
Is that player handbook 50 gold each?
Yep.
Okay. To
They
give you an
don't work
idea,
if they're not worth 50 gold.
in normal Emberwood, those are 100 gold a pop.
Mm.
Here, even with the brownie points, it'll probably be like 75.
Cool.
So,
Well, can we like do some barter with the art objects that we have?
you can trade the art objects.
Cool.
So you could definitely like trade those in.
Like use them like currency.
This would be the
essentially?
place, honestly.
yeah.
Oh,
Finery.
Yeah. There's not everything, but there's a good amount of stuff, right? Like this is the military supply place. So, you could find stuff should you need them to furnish. So, yeah, you asked for that. And she goes, okay, well, I mean, 2, that'd be 150 if you got it, and that's with the discount of being on the good side.
Whew. Never mind. They're just spell components for another time.
Preposterous. Let's get you these. Perhaps we could all chip in. I've got a little bit of gold saved up.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna take care of business. We're gonna earn it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it when we come back. It's fine. And Erasmus is a little embarrassed.
Got it. All right. And just Ghost, you let us know if you need anything, yeah?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'll take these 3 scrolls here. Locate object. Find traps. And spiritual weapon.
Perfect. They're all there for you.
And that will help us find delirium piece or something more specific on a mission. Help us find the traps in an area that intelligent enemies have set up for us. And the last one is just a really good use of bonus action that's not concentration, honestly,
100%.
in combat. So,
Locate object glitch. That's the closest one, or anyone's basically that.
let me check, actually.
Okay, it gives you a specific one, nearest object of a particular kind. So we might have to dispose of our shard before we can use that to find shard.
Okay, so maybe
It's like,
maybe
look at the closest one. It's in your pocket. What are we doing here?
probably gonna keep this shard, right? Or are we trying to get rid of this shard?
I mean, we can get rid of it if you want, but I thought we could hang on to it for a moment. I still feel like there's something I can learn from it. I haven't had a chance to really knuckle down and study its inner mysteries. Truly,
All
this is the best chance I've ever had to
Sure.
to investigate its properties.
There are still other things in this place that are going to be powerful that Erasmus will either know about or hear of, like
Sure.
special.
Having that on
Yeah.
hand is good.
Sure.
Okay.
Other things like the scepter. I think the scepter is just one of probably many
One of
significant
many.
religious artifacts that are still in the city.
Each of you can go ahead and roll religion should you want to, because I have an answer to your query.
Ooh.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Oh, no. Hey, that +1 helps. So that's a 5 for me.
That's 13 for me.
13.
I'm going to use my last lucky since we're probably going to get a rest
Go for
here because I don't want to miss out on this. All right, that is 15.
15. Okay, 15 gets
Let me
you
double check actually.
a
Yep.
thing.
15.
Okay. Okay, so you got a couple options here. Okay, so on a 15, I'm gonna skip over magic items. And on a religion, I will give you this. All right, I will give you this. Within the religion of the Sacred Flame, there are holy relics that were wielded by Saint Vitruvio. The scepter is not the only one of them. They were kept like in religious sites, which makes sense considering where you found the scepter and like where people were going to find it.
Okay.
You would know the names of these things. This is very much within the Knights of the Silver Order's vibe, right? So obviously, the Scepter of Saint Vitruvio.
Okay.
There is the Helm of Patron Saints, the Shield of the Sacred Flame, Ignatius, the Sword of Burning Truth,
Whoa.
and Saint Vitruvio's Phylactery. Those are the like special items tied specifically to Saint Vitruvio within the walls. Well, not within the walls. I say within the walls is like very air quotes, but like in the walls of Drakkenheim.
Right.
Those are the 5 items directly related to Saint Vitruvio. There are others, and it's actually Phalles, you would know this, and it wouldn't even be a roll. There are what are called the Seals of Drakkenheim. What they do, you have no idea. You've heard the name before. And Erasmus, if you are going to mention these items to the group,
Yeah, I will.
The Phylactery is one of the Seals of Drakkenheim.
Oh.
I've heard people talk about the seals and how every faction and even individuals who come out here without a faction association would have their life immediately changed by coming out with a seal.
It's these seals. So the items of Saint Vitruvio, you can think of it like religious artifacts, right? The Knights of the Silver Order want those. The Followers of the Falling Fire want those. Those are the 2 factions that are vying to get all of those items. The seals kind of determine the fate of Drakkenheim. So the Hooded Lanterns want those primarily because they're the kind of like the Crown's Guard, so to speak. The City Watch of Old Drakkenheim, and obviously the Queen's Men want those because then they can determine the future of what Drakkenheim looks like. Those 2 are kind of like known things, but knowing the names of those things is a totally different story. Not everyone knows of the various seals of Drakkenheim. There are how many are there? 6, 7? I think there's 7. Let me count.
So is the
7.
Seals of Drakkenheim kind of like an after the fact appellation of like among people who are trying to control this, the future of Drakkenheim, these are the things that they think would really help them that aren't related to each other otherwise? Or was this originally like a set of things that has been broken up?
So they were a set of things. So
Okay.
I will read this to you just for fun. This is just kind of a fun flavor text. You would know a lot about this relatively because they were created by the Amethyst Academy.
Okay.
So the Seals of Drakkenheim were jointly crafted by the mages of the Amethyst Academy and the clergy of the Sacred Flame, and they were gifted to the royal family of Drakkenheim after the Edicts of Lumen. There are 6 members of the Royal Council, each carried one of the items, while the monarch or the leader, the queen, king, wore the crown of Westmar. So there's the crown, and then there are 6 other items.
Okay. Well, that's kind of like a thing that Erasmus is like, oh, that's cool. So.
Wow, heady stuff. Exciting.
There's so much going on.
Yeah. Guys, it's been a long day. I think I'm gonna turn in a little bit early. But don't debauch yourselves too much tonight. We've got more investigating to do tomorrow, eh?
Yeah. Do you have any healing potions? Because we.
Oh no. I never remember to carry them. You know.
I give him 2.
Oh.
And I say, we're gonna need you.
Very generous of you. But hopefully, I intend just not to get hurt. So hopefully these won't ever become necessary.
You know they work on other people, right?
Oh, truly? I guess that makes sense. I've never tried to feed anybody a drink. That sounds practically difficult. But yeah, I'll give it a shot if you seem to be in danger.
Perfect.
Ryan is has definitely fed me some healing potions in some tough times. So
Oh, truly.
Hey, Feliz, we all, the optimism is fantastic. We all hope to never need them. It's one of those things that it's better safe than sorry, better to have and not need than need and not have.
In the worst case scenario, I could see how something like this could be useful. But hopefully we will just proceed with an abundance of caution and never suffer a serious injury.
From your mouth, yes.
Never broke a bone. And with that, I'm
Oh
gonna go to
God!
bed.
Oh God!
We shouldn't tempt the fates here, Drakkenheim.
I love this. I love this.
Where do you go to bed?
I'm going to wander around until someone asks me what I'm doing. And then be like, oh, the night captain said that I could stay here tonight. I could requisition a tent. I've got my brown robes on now.
That is a much better choice than just wandering by yourself in Amethyst Academy robes.
What's great is he was just talking about how he doesn't have a second set of clothes, and like not just a disguise, but now a second set of clothes. So.
Yeah. Okay, so that's definitely a thing that will exactly happen, and as you have found, the word travels pretty quickly that there are members within camp that need lodging, super quick and easy to find. It's essentially a barracks. So you can shack up in the barracks and it's relatively private. It's not, it's a barracks, so it's kind of open. There's other people in there, but it's not full. If that helps.
Excellent. Okay, so there's not any kind of like, there's not even a tent. Like this is a kind of public space.
Yeah. This is very much kind of like a public space. In the. It's in a military camp. So if you want a public space, if you went to Emberwood, you could definitely get like a private room at the either tavern or like they rent out like little houses that you could get.
Actually, in that case, like I'd see the barracks and be like, you know what? I just actually remembered something, and I'm gonna leave and go to to Emberwood.
Okay. So that's a little bit of a walk. It won't take you too long, but it's a little bit of a walk. So I would recommend everybody.
You don't have your arcane
stuff.
focus.
Yeah.
What's that?
You don't have your arcane focus.
I surely don't.
Yeah. So I would recommend everyone kind of handle their stuff and then go to Emberwood, but it's entirely up to you if you want to just start trekking.
Yeah, I think I'd pop in and be like, hey, I'm gonna stay in Emberwood tonight. I'll meet you all bright and early in the morning, perhaps at the High Flame Keeper's outlook.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yes. And I'm gonna slide him his arcane stick.
Arcane stick.
Goodness! I was gonna reach into his sleeve and realize it's not that. How did you get that?
The fact that he doesn't remember giving it to me gives me so much more of a headache than I already had. That I'm like, oh God.
Felix,
just quiet and discreet as always, Ghost.
You gave it to me.
Stay safe tonight. We have more to do.
We're out of Drakkenheim. What could possibly happen?
And I'm gonna look to each of you guys and say, thank you for today. It's been a great birthday.
But did I know it was your birthday?
No,
Oh,
it's just.
Well, that's incredible. Yes.
Well, I mean,
happy birthday. I'm so sorry I didn't get you anything. Yes, this went quite well, didn't it?
It's been a great day.
I couldn't be more excited to delve deeper, right? Uh,
I'm looking forward to more. I
mhm.
feel like I've learned a lot, and I'm gonna learn more.
Yes, yes. You know, no better no better teacher than practice, right? And he's gonna reach
That
up
is true.
over his back and like from his bedroll just pull out the sword hand over hand until he's wielding it. And then he's gonna hold it like a torch in front of him as he's going home to light the way.
That's such a like. I want like a Van Gogh style painting of Phalles in the darkness between camp and Everwood Village,
Yeah.
holding this oversized, glowing moon veil sword. Essentially,
He's like walking out of a very well lit camp into the dark with this massive lit sword in front of him.
right.
Imagining like a full Zweihander, like
Yeah.
like a
Yes.
stupid big sword, like
Yep.
the kind of sword where if you as a warrior showed up to a battle with it, everyone would make fun of you.
And the archers would aim for you.
Oh, it's a
Um,
beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I'm going to turn to Ryan and say, I'm gonna
Mhm.
go to the armor smith, see if I can get a better clink clink, as I kind of show underneath my
Yep.
shema and like, like
Mhm.
almost like urban blending kind of style outfit tunic.
Give me a split second. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna stay with you, Ghost. This is good. And as we're leaving the supply tent,
Mm-hmm.
you said there's stacks and rows of things, right? And then
Mhm.
it's mostly visible to us. I'm looking for a telescope, a spyglass,
Oh,
something
cool.
to see the stars. And do I see anything like that?
Yeah. There's a couple. Not many, but a couple. There's
Okay.
something on the wall. Yeah.
All right. You know how valuable everything you have is, particularly when we're out there trying to do what we do. I'm wondering, the spy glasses that you have there,
Mm.
what can you tell me about them, and what would you need to part with one?
Those. How much are they in the player's handbook? Did we look?
They're
They're-
1,000 gold.
Are they 1,000 or the
Yeah,
100?
so they don't exist for people to use as spyglasses. They exist as an alternate like spellcasting focus
It's
for
1,000.
scrying. But like I imagine anything that was actually just made to be a spyglass would be a lot less expensive than that.
That's my logic too. Yeah, because like
Yeah.
I understand the logic in
Laurie
using it
chose
as a
the most
spell class.
expensive thing
Yeah.
in the
I'm
store.
like,
Just casually,
look,
like, can I
there's-
just get?
There's one that says frost scope on it.
It says
Give me that
Hermes
one.
on it. Can I just get that? We'll just toss it in
That's
the
a very
box.
Persian quality to accidentally pick the thing with the highest price tag. Every store you go into, it is my curse to bear. It's so nice to see it affect Laurie.
It's the one that has an LV on it. Can I get that? Because you just toss
Right.
it in the
I'm
box.
like, no. Look, I had an old artificer friend who used to make these. It was no big deal.
The funny thing is when you start like doing gold math as it like applies to like what people make in a day, like it at least with like standard pricing, you do realize like, oh, all of these things aren't priced like luxury goods. They are priced like military material, right?
Yeah.
Like this is an arms dealer that you're buying from, and
Nice.
you're paying arms dealer prices.
Yep.
Yep.
Like when you buy a +3 greatsword, like you aren't buying yourself a fancy toy. You are buying yourself an F-16.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'd like that $12,000 toilet seat, please.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yes.
So you see, she pulls one off the shelf, and there's only a couple of them, and looks at it, and the glass is, chipped and cracked, and says, "They're kind of rare. No one buys these. They sit on my shelves. 50 gold, and it's yours. And quite frankly, if you find anyone else who's looking for one, let me know. I could probably sell it for a little more than 50 gold. At this point, no one's using them."
We can use the art to trade for it.
Yeah. Did you already?
We don't have it though, right?
Wait. What do you mean we don't have it?
Oh, sorry. Yes, we could. Hmm. Yeah, does Felice have the art?
I don't think
No,
so.
I thought you guys had it. I
Yeah,
didn't
we
really
Never
do any.
mind
I didn't
then.
really do any looting at all.
yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
I just have the stuff you guys handed me.
Got it. All right. So then I'm going to pull one of the pieces out, and so we rolled it up, and I'm going to unroll it. And tell me, what do you have? Do you have any use for this? What sort of value would this unique piece bring?
Kind of grabs it, unrolls it, and kind of flips it over. Looks at it, just says, I mean, quite frankly, I could hang it up. It looks nice. It's quite frankly a beautiful piece. It's like a picture of like Drakkenheim before the meteor. He kind of goes, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 25 for it. 25 in this this cracked used spyglass is yours.
All right. Checking inventory. One moment, please.
Mm-hmm.
How much gold should we have?
You were given, upon completion of the first little mission to like escort the caravan, it was 25 gold.
Okay.
And for this one, I actually was going to give you gold as well. How much was it? What was it? There was literally a thing for this. Hold on. Let me pull it up. 2 seconds.
Do you have the mending cantrip, Laurie?
I do not have the mending cantrip.
I'm about to be your best friend.
Here we go. So yeah, I'm sorry. 250 gold per person for the scepter as well. I knew I was forgetting something.
Oh, shit. So,
I was like, it can't just be like potions. Like that seems ridiculous. No, it was 250 gold per person. So, Feliz, you also have 250 gold on your person.
He's like, best day ever. All right, great. So then I get out the 25 gold, hand it to her. Yeah.
Great.
Say, great.
Yes, appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. This is no. This is good. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate it. Okay, so Erasmus, you were gonna head to the armory.
yes.
And I'm gonna go with him.
Go with him.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast mending while we're walking because it takes 1 minute of time, if I may.
Mhm.
Or actually, I'll role play it. You mind if I see that? I can fix it up a little bit, make it a little bit more new.
Great. No, absolutely. Take a look at it. I think it's going to be on these rare nights when we are out and we can see the stars.
I mean, you spent
This
a lot of
would be
money on
nice.
this, but
That
more importantly,
felt important.
there's a reason. May I know the reason? As I'm kind of just gently casting the spell, as you feel like the if you've ever felt like even a toy spyglass, the rickety, awkward
Mhm.
nature of it, or just the loose bevel pieces, just kind of mending, making everything just tighter and more like satisfying
All right.
clicks to it. But yeah, what is it about you and the stars that makes you spend more money than most people will ever see in a good season?
And I just look at him. Deep, bright blue eyes. I feel a special and strong draw to the cosmos, to the stars. Magical powers, the forces that we are able to wield, I don't know where they all come from. I didn't have the powers that I do now for most of my life, 29 of my 30 years. When I lost my family, when they were killed by the monster, I didn't know what to do. I screamed, I cried, I prayed, I shouted out to anyone who would listen. Help me. Give me the power not only to revenge. I know I couldn't bring them back, but give me the power to get revenge, to avenge. Give me the strength to protect others so people don't have to go through what I did.
Did you
And
did did you did you kill the monster?
no, I didn't have the power then. The monster was gone, threw me aside like I was nothing, and killed my family. I did not have the power then to do it, but in that moment, as I reached out for any help I could get, I felt a power. I felt a comfort. And I knew that I had more strength and had abilities that I didn't have before. And we continued to see them. Something heard me, and something wanted to give me the strength to battle these monsters. And it's something from the sky. I feel it. I sense it. I feel a connection to the stars, to the galaxies. I feel a connection. And the telescope and the spyglass makes me feel. I felt it to be. I could have even a stronger connection to what gives me my powers.
So you're looking for someone out there in the stars. You're hoping to see them.
No, until you said that. No, that was not my thought. Just, I almost feel a comfort under the stars, and just to be able to feel more of that. I hadn't actually thought about seeing anything when I looked. Wouldn't that be something?
I've never seen the stars. I've been here my whole life under the haze. I've never left the city, and I was too young to see what it was like before.
Ghost, look up.
What? I'm kidding.
Dude, there's stars right up there.
I always imagined it as like a impenetrable fog of either light pollution or a literal haze from the glowing of Drakkenheim.
Around the camp, it is. You could still see stars. It's not, the light pollution is not that crazy. But when you are in Drakkenheim, or quite frankly, even just a little bit closer than where you are, so like a
Okay, never mind.
5-10 minute
Misunderstood
walk,
that.
you're
The
like in
severity.
the haze. Yeah. So you're not wrong. They're not like amazingly bright. It's very much like a very heavily light polluted city, but you can still see a couple.
Okay. Then I'll
Use
say,
the- oh yeah, so say use the scope. See what you see.
check it out. And while checking it out, I'll say, if you don't mind, what did the creature look like so I can help you kill it? And
It was large. It had both tentacles and fur. I'd never seen anything like it, and I haven't seen anything like it since. I guarantee you'll know when I see that monster. Tentacles, fur, a snapping dog so strong. I'll let you know.
all right, I'll be there with you. So I look through. What do I see through the lens?
Are you looking up just to the stars above you?
Just to the stars, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the first times I think you've seen the stars this close and this clearly. Being in Camp Dawn, especially just how you spend your days, where you grew up, you don't spend a lot of time looking up. And when you do, all you see is dots. But finally looking through a proper mended spyglass, you see these quite frankly beautiful stars.
Mm.
Giant balls of fire in the sky.
Oh
That
wow!
yeah. Had you not
These
thought
are-
any better, they're fallen meteors, but you know better
Right.
than that.
Sorry, I'm just like so horrified by Isaac's contribution to our chat. But tentacle fur beasts.
Can that be canon?
That looks canon to me. As in, I'm firing a cannon at it and running away. Oh my god! Oh, I love it. I love this so much.
I'm not at all creeped out at all.
So I will say this is the second most beautiful thing I've seen tonight.
Ghost. There's just something. There's something comforting. It's hard to explain. This is good. And also, let's take a look. And as Ghost still has the
Mhm.
scope, turn around and take a look at. Can you see things more clearly looking down that way?
And I do so.
Where are you looking?
Oh, just randomly, just trying to see how much of it, because obviously, great to look at the stars. Also,
Mhm.
we'll be able to. It will be beneficial to us
Mhm.
while we're looking for other strike teams coming at us,
Right.
or whatever we're trying to. So, just trying to get a feel for. Gosh, look, we can see better than we could see before.
Yeah,
I
I
love
mean,
that.
you could see Thales walking away from the camp with his giant ass golden
See,
bright
this
sword
light
walking in the
turn.
distance. Yeah.
Point of order: Thales is running.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
I just imagine.
Like as soon as he got out of the camp, like out of the camp, and like thinks no one's like watching, he is as best as he can manage. He is alternating between sprinting and walking. I think that's where his stamina is at.
So you see Thales sprint walking back
Hey, he's
on the
got-
road to
Well,
Everwood.
with the giant sword.
Mhm.
200. He's got 250 gold. He's got a chunk of delirium. He's like best life ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Best life
Yeah.
ever.
We never see him
Retirement's
again.
great.
All
Also,
right,
like
I-
swinging it at like little saplings as he passes them.
Yeah.
That's awesome. They're like, no.
How much is your strength?
I think I have -1.
Love that. So it's like a 7 or something. It's just like hiya, just this big sword and just like throwing him off balance.
I mean, like a big two-handed sword. Like if it's made to be used, it's still probably like 5 pounds.
That's
I'm
true.
sure his arms are getting tired, but like he's gonna look like an idiot swinging it, but he's gonna look like an idiot because he's not proficient, not because he's not strong enough.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
That's a good point. That's a good
Assuming
point.
it was made for like a human-sized human.
It was.
Like
yeah,
if these saints are big, who knows?
it's like a 12
Right.
foot tall saint.
I will say. Brian, you're a woman. You know how
Yes.
to talk to women. I've been trying to work up the courage to talk to Claudia on more of a camaraderie terms, I guess, for a long time. And I promised myself if I didn't do it by my 18th birthday, I'd never do it. I'm just trying to see if it's worth it to wait a little longer to be a bit more older or to be a bit more higher rank. I don't know what the first words I say other than here, have some more holy water.
That actually might not be bad. Oh, Ghost. No, this is good.
Surprise.
And one of the things that it seems as though we've both learned is that there's not a lot of time to wait here. We don't know what tomorrow brings. You are no longer a child,
No, far from it.
or you're a strong and competent young man.
Appreciate you saying that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
It's true. Look at what you've done. Look at what we've done. It's a miracle to have survived here. And you've not just survived, you're thriving. Silver Order is recognizing you. You stand tall and proud.
I do. I
You know where she is.
do.
Oh, you know you want to be you're not going to want to interrupt her while she's working.
No, I was gonna ask her about when her shift or her watch is over.
Hmm. Perfect. Uh, and it would be very easy and very it would make a lot of sense for you to ask her any questions you have about the Silver Order. Do you know how she came to be involved?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd
I
love to know that story. That's a good
yeah,
call.
I think something that is a good idea that you probably would do intuitively is be interested in her. Ask her questions.
I'm always afraid that she'll think like I think, which is when someone's asking me questions, they're trying to get one over on me, you know?
Oh.
Or they're just thinking of something about the world that they're fascinated with, you know, like Phales, the curious. Um, it's it's strange to be around people who want to know more about something because of the nature of it, and nothing I can seem to contribute to any answer. I'm a good listener though, quiet as a
Yeah,
ghost I am.
absolutely. I think that yeah, and I think that when you start talking to her, you'll know. You are a good listener and you're perceptive, and you'll know whether she wants to continue the conversation or if you feel that she doesn't, you'll sense that.
Perfect.
You pay attention. You're smart. You're wise. Wise beyond your years, sir.
I'm gonna hopefully maybe get some shiny new armor so I can really impress her.
Let's go get you that nice new birthday suit.
I don't know what that is. I've never had a suit for my birthday.
I think we're about to go get you one.
And we go into the armory tent.
All right. So you walk in the armory. It's actually Delilah again. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey there, Delilah.
I
What are
know.
you doing in two places at once?
I know. You see, just actually, this one doesn't even have a quartermaster, and this is just kind of a guard. And you walk in, and they turn to you and say, "I mean, I was given orders to let you pick an item. You get one.
Oh,
Go ahead and kind of he kind of meant motions down the line. So mechanically, you can get one magical melee weapon, suit of heavy armor, or shield. It would be uncommon.
I'm not proficient in almost all of those.
Do they come with? I'm like, do they come with proficiencies?
No, they do not.
How magical proficiency giving? Could I get a +1 breastplate?
Yeah, if you would like. That's uncommon. Yeah, it's green.
Yep.
Cool.
It's medium armor, but like, yeah, they feel like they got breastplates here.
Yeah.
And Delilah had that. It makes sense as long as it's not like leather armor, like studded armor. I think that's fine.
metal.
Yeah, that tracks. The idea being is that it's like
it has to be uncommon.
Yeah, it couldn't be rare. It could be like lower than uncommon if you want. If you want to just be common, that's fine. But
all right. There's like a really cool armor in D&D that I'm trying to remember. Okay, yeah, serpent scale armor. It's uncommon. It's scale mail. A suit of magic armor is made from shimmering scales. While wearing it, you can apply your full dex mod when determining armor class. It doesn't impose disadvantage on stealth skill.
You've got that's heavy armor, right?
Right, that's heavy armor. So what I would actually do is I would probably then want to get heavy armor proficiency so I can have this.
Before you went with
right, instead of great weapon master. Yeah, if that's cool with the DM, that's possible. It's not. I know it doesn't. I don't really lose too much if I just go +1 breastplates. and not losing a feat. Yeah, I'll just do +1 breastplate.
You
I
just
just
wanna do
armor.
breastplate.
As much as I like serpent scale armor, +1 breastplate is just
Okay. Okay.
right.
Great. Then you can you grab that off the shelf. And the guard goes, "Great choice. Personally, I would have gone with the scale." No, I'm just kidding.
You son of a bitch.
So you snag that, and you can bounce out of
Can I
illusion.
sell them my old breastplate?
At the armory, no, but probably in Emberwood they would allow that. Yeah, you'd be able to sell it in Emberwood. Like they have need of it here, but they're not gonna buy it from you. Like they're gonna take it from you, right?
You would,
It would be like a donation.
That would be a trade-in situation.
Yeah.
You would also know that Thales would definitely buy that from you.
Oh, okay.
It's
Really?
also the idea that like you sell it in Emberwood, and then eventually they will buy it from Emberwood. So it's
Wait.
indirectly selling back to Camp Dawn.
Thales would buy it from me?
Absolutely, yeah.
I as a person am so interested in that. What have you told Erasmus about your interest in arms and armor that have him know this?
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean, like you've been traveling
sword.
with him a while. You just know that he's like a weird arms and armor dude, right? Like he talks pretty frequently, I think, about like famous smiths that used to operate out of Drakkenheim, and like interesting like trade-offs between different styles of armor, and like the kind of like winged design design on these plates, like it adds this extra like fortitude, but at the cost of flexibility. It's really interesting trying to thread that needle. And then like when we were just down in the tomb, he was looking through for like collector's items.
All right, that's cool. So I would actually want to get that. And actually, now that I'm actually seeing a list of armor, I miss. Well, no, I didn't misspeak because is it worth it having something that doesn't give disadvantage?
No. We're like
we like being quiet, right? I think stealth has been our main shtick.
Yeah, I mean, stealth.
I think that's going to be a good shtick too going forward.
Stealth is fabulous, but the most important parts of stealth happen before a roll happens.
Right.
Like especially if you're looking at avoiding attention rather than like setting up an ambush.
Right.
I feel like we can set things up well enough that the stealth disadvantage wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Cool. Got it. In that case, to be more knightly and wearing a half plate would be pretty dope.
Also, you got Thales with you, and sneaking up on people's going to be difficult.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate the knowledge of a person being a factor here. Yeah. Okay. I'll be more knightly and do half plate.
You guys stay here.
I've never.
I'll go check things out and come back and let you know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fine.
With the telescopic lens, we'll watch you creep away.
We're good.
Yeah. Like a spyglass is some of the best stealth you can have because you just don't have to get as close.
Right. That's actually awesome. Cool.
And also remember, if we don't leave anyone alive, there are no. Oh, never mind. Different kind of stealth. Aggressive stealth.
Different kind of stealth. Yeah. Let me write down disadvantage stealth from here on out.
That's right. As we're looking at the weapons in the armory, not a lot, but in the dagger section.
Ooh.
Do I see perhaps? Is there a shelf with a dagger of warning on it? If not that, then... Mm. Mute, Josh, mute.
Sorry,
Oh,
I was looking up the price of it, and I'm literally pulling it up, and I googled it to pull it up on D&D Beyond, and it opened it up, and it was like, you should buy the Dungeon Master's Guide, and I was like, I'm sorry. What did you just say to me? Like I was like,
How dare you?
Yeah.
Who do
Do
you
you
think I
know
am?
who I am?
You're talking to my DM. Stop it.
Do you know how much of my money you
I
have?
know. That's exactly what it was. I was like, I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, let's see here. Let us see.
Did I do the thing again? Oh, I may have done the thing.
What'd
Never
you do?
mind. I don't know. I think it might be 50,000 gold.
So that's kind of what I'm looking at. It's gonna be spicy. I just want to know how spicy.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
It is like the most valuable weapon
No.
you can have
Yeah.
in Drakkenheim.
Well,
though.
look, you said magic items. There we go.
Well, yeah.
I have actually a PDF called "Sane Prices to Magic Items."
Mhm.
Well, remember this is all also Drakkenheim, so
And
it
it's
literally
multiplied
says
value.
Yeah.
2x what's in Player's Handbook. So like
Oh.
it takes into account the crazy pricing of the items and then doubles it.
Mhm.
So this would be pretty spicy.
How about a +1 dagger?
Well, same. There's the same rarity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They'd be the same
if you're
price.
if the base price is coming from the same magic items one, +1 weapons are much more reasonable than anything else. I think they still might be out of our price range though.
Okay.
Looks like.
Well, we'll know what to aim for. So,
Mhm.
so let's see here.
Yeah. So here we go. So this a +1 dagger would be. This is per the DMG. It's a wild range, 100 to 500 gold. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say 750 because I'm not gonna double 500, but I'm gonna say 750.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna give you my 250 that I just got if it makes a difference.
That's great. And I'm
'Cause
gonna
I want to
say,
live.
yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna say thanks. Give it back to you. It's not that. Maybe another time, but thank you. We're good, Ghost.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's 500. Wild.
If we sell, God, if we sell a couple things that we have and pull our money, we could get it.
What if we just went on another adventure?
Yeah, like it's
Yes.
and it's not.
You're going off
rules-
of the opinion we're gonna live, and I keep forgetting that point. I keep thinking
We're gonna
we're going
live.
to die.
And I was just being opportunistic because it's here. I'm like, oh well, we can get one. Let's get one.
Yeah.
But
Look,
these
we're
are
gonna
not
keep
things they're
it
giving
forever.
to us. Yeah, and these
The
are
gravy train's just starting.
absolutely.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna say
alright.
750 for dagger +1,
Right.
and it'd probably be close to 1250 probably for the dagger of warning.
Got it.
If not a little bit more, but I hadn't priced that.
Gonna hold-
but-
Going to hold off.
All right, I am going to finish proudly showing off my half plate and feeling more knightly than ever after only ever having breastplate. So just having this look, and I kind of have a moment of the most beautiful belt the ball as I spin in front of Ryan. I'm kidding. As I proudly kind of march without looking too much of a rooster in my movements.
Nice. And I'm gonna just polish up a little bit spot here. It's like the equivalent of wiping off his face, but I'm just gonna do a little
bit of
polish
schmutz.
here and say, yeah, you got a little schmutz here. You look good. You look strong.
All right. Do you have any magic you can make me a bit more? I don't know.
Claudia is going to. She's going to see what you are. And you never know what's going to happen. You're going to go have a conversation. That's all.
All right.
You look very good, Ghost. We've had a great day. We've done tremendous things. Go have a good night. I'm going to go take a rest.
Where can I? Where are you gonna go rest?
In the I guess in the community, kind of in
Okay.
the community
So-
area.
So you're going to the barracks?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there
'Cause
an
there's-
empty corner somewhere? I mean, I don't want to be in the mix of things. I would like to be, I still want to be protected.
Mhm.
But yeah, certainly trying to, be separate from the rest of the folks.
Okay. Yeah, because you can go to the barracks or you can head to Emberwood, should you want to. Night you're starting to kind of go deeper into evening now. It's not necessarily dangerous on the road from Camp Dawn to Emberwood. It's probably the safest place near Drakkenheim, quite frankly. So it's not like it's 2 miles away. So
If you're
it's a bit
gonna
of a
rob
walk.
travelers on the road, that's probably
That's
not
not-
where you want to be.
That's the
No.
worst place to rob
Literally the
people.
worst spot to
Robbing
be.
cops on the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah, that's like robbing cops from the road from their police station to the freeway. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's like they've just started their shift. They're trying to get on
There's
the freeway.
nobody else
No.
there. There's
Yeah.
nobody else who has a reason to be there.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But
So-
still stuff.
That's fair. Yeah, no, I'm going. Yeah, I'll stay there. I'm gonna stay in the
barracks.
Stay in the barracks. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. totally
And
fine.
perfect. Okay, and before I do, again, gonna stand, gonna look around, I'll look at the sky. Few deep breaths, and before I tuck in, I'd like to be standing somewhere where nobody can see me. Is there
Okay.
a place behind a tree or
Yeah,
somewhere?
you can tuck behind a tent if you want. Go ahead and
Okay.
roll stealth if you're trying to be stealthy about something.
Yeah, I am. I just want to do something that I don't want people to see. 13. What's stealth?
I'm gonna arm
5.
my nuclear bomb.
Maybe. So that's an 18 on stealth.
18. Yeah, you're fine.
Okay, perfect. And just standing, looking up at the sky. I feel the powers. And I feel that I've got something new. I just smile and shut my eyes. And if anyone were seeing her, she goes invisible.
Oh.
And you just hear laughter. Quietly. I'm just cackling. I don't see anything. I'm like, this is new. And this is going to be good. Thank you. And she comes back. And now we go to bed. Level up, took invisibility. That's what that looks like.
Sick.
Yeah, that's
Love
cool.
that.
Love that. All right, I am going to, before going to bed, I'm going to use this newfound armor confidence and riding the tallest wave I've ever been on in my life in years and years and years. Probably the only good wave I've ever had with my friends, with a mission, with nothing bad happening. I'm just going to try to end the last few hours, 2 hours of my birthday, just seeing if I can talk to Claudia, who I've already made a good impression on, to at least see if she's still doing her shift, which it's only been, I imagine, less than 40 minutes.
It's actually been a couple hours, probably about
Oh, okay.
2 hours or so.
Okay.
So, kind of existing on the outside of the periphery of Camp Dawn, the chances of you catching her on her shift right now are pretty low. She's probably already checked out for the evening, but there's no harm in heading over there to go check.
Right.
You might catch her, but
If that's the case, I'd
But
go
you
to where
would
she
know
had
that.
mentioned, which was there was food, and know that she would be. Yeah, she'd probably be getting a bite or around the socializing aspect of the soldiery.
yeah. So there is a little bit of a mess hall. Nothing too fancy, just
Mhm.
big tent, big tables, stew. And you do see her kind of amongst a group of people. No one seems to there's not like an air of revelry or laughter, but it's just casual conversation.
Okay.
that's just kind of existing in this space. But clearly she's off the clock. Seems like she either has just gotten off the clock and was going to grab a bite to eat and then kind of spend her evening however. But it is one of the first times that you've seen her that she's had her helmet off because she's no longer on guard duty. She's eating. She can't eat through a helmet. So, but it's
Who's gonna take you home?
Yeah. Yes. But it's sweat and dirt kind of cover both her hair and her face.
It's so attractive. Erasmus at that.
Yeah.
He's like internally like the equivalent of like K-pop feral.
So you see them kind of there's about 3 or 4 of them kind of gathered together, just kind of a section of the table, eating. There's not a large group of people in this tent, but a decent amount. It's a lot of shifts have just ended, so there's people kind of grabbing a bite to eat before heading down to bed.
All right, I will grab a bite, bring my tray or however it is over, and sit down, like kind of trying to find a seat near her and say, in my most like not please notice me senpai kind of tone, avoiding that. Is this seat available?
And she kind of glances over. Oh yeah, absolutely, and kind of shuffles over, and you see the kind of people you recognize them. You don't necessarily know their names,
right.
But you've seen them kind of around. They each know you. I mean, there's not many knight errants that are about that have the moniker of Ghost. So, they kind of welcome you in, and you kind of settle in with them, and they kind of kick up their conversation of like
a Deadpool.
Yeah. The conversation that they seem to pick back up, that they're not excluding you from, but just kind of like kick up the conversation again, is about the... Funny enough, it's about the group that went to the Chapel of St. Brenna.
Hell yeah.
But it's not... It's mainly just about them. It's not necessarily that something bad happened. It's just like, these people, they were in the strike team that went to the chapel. That
would have been so awful. It's like, yeah, they all died. Like,
I don't know what happened. They met these Queensmen and these followers of the Fallen Fire.
Pissed off and needed to take their anger out on someone.
Yeah, we lost 3 knights that day. No, I'm just kidding.
That would have been... I'd just been like, nope, never mind. Today's not that day.
He's like, well, I gotta go.
It's like
came back over
3
here.
times as big.
Yeah. All right. I say good news to Claudia. I might be looking to be stationed here, full time in service to the Silver Order.
Oh yeah? Well,
yeah.
Congratulations, that's fantastic. So I guess your meeting with the Knight Captain went great, even with your wizard friend.
In spite of my wizard friend. No, he's a good man, and the Knight Captain saw it through to recognize that I am loyal to the Silver Order and I keep good company. Speaking of good company, how is your evening going?
Oh, it was all right. Just had watch. I volunteered to join and kind of gestures around to the people who they're not talking amongst themselves. They're kind of part of the conversation. Kind of gestures around to part of the strike team to St. Brenna, but I had other duties here, so bit of a bummer. Wanted to get into the city a little bit and get into a couple scuffles, but
no,
I go where I'm told.
You didn't miss much.
No, it's quiet day in Drakkenheim. Yeah.
There's no such thing as a quiet day in Drakkenheim, but
yeah.
Let's just say there was, thankfully, a bit more talk and a bit more moving, pushing the creatures back. I don't even know how to put this, but there's some powerful curses out there, and I know you're eager to put your blade against it all, but and I don't know if you're going to believe this, but Saint Brenna herself was a mummy in the chapel.
You see this guy, she kind of like looks at everyone and just kind of goes like, what? No, Saint Brenna. No, wait, first of all, hold on, Ghost. How do you know that? How did you, because, I mean, everybody knows about Saint Brenna, but you can't just make things up about Saint Brenna, Ghost.
You know, I'm just pulling your leg. How ridiculous is that?
I need you to make a deception check.
Okay, I didn't roll too
Busted.
bad here.
Auto fail.
All right, I got 15.
So you say, oh, I'm just pulling your leg, and she just goes, you know, that's not really a great thing to joke about.
Just like,
you know,
single tear.
It's pretty funny. I gotta say, pretty funny. And well, you know, we just spent a day in Drakkenheim. We've all been there. We see some things. We think it's something that it's not. I get you. I understand. But don't let the fear cloud your mind too much. Ghost.
No, not at all. How can I be scared when I have Olive and on cue, Olive pops out of my pack and little raccoon is just like grabby hands like, where's my food?
You see, without missing a beat, she just takes a bite of the bread, it's like a tear of the bread and just hands it to Olive. Just like it's just like raccoon,
right.
Great, grabby hands, bread.
Right. Yeah, I said, Olive, you remember Claudia? Yeah, this isn't their first time. But I wanted to ask, what got you into the Silver Order? This is it's a pretty big commitment, admirable, even.
Yeah, it's I mean, my family was deeply religious, as were, and kind of mentions that, as were most of ours, I imagine. I mean, the Sacred Flame was a pretty big order in Drakkenheim. I doubt you would remember too much of its height, but it was a pretty well-known order and pretty ubiquitous.
You're only a few years older than me. I don't know if your
yeah.
memory as a 3-year-old or 5-year-olds or whatever.
Yeah, but I remember going to services with my parents, and I remember it being a pretty big deal. And when we escaped when the sky fell, we came into groups that were held closely by the Sacred Flame, as opposed to brigand groups or groups just fleeing the city. My family joined one that attempted to push back the blight that showed up in the city, kind of just been here all my life. Both my parents died within the walls on an incursion inside, and
I'm so sorry to hear that. How long ago was that?
Oh, it was 5-7 years ago. It was a while back. We've been doing this for quite a while.
Right.
We're kind of old guard in that, but I've only been doing it a couple years, but very quickly, climbed through the ranks. So it's not. I appreciate your sentiment, but they died gloriously. They died for the good of Drakkenheim and the good of the Sacred Flame. They died the death they wanted, and that's quite
all
frankly
we can ever hope for.
The most any of us can hope for. Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah, and I cheers to that.
Yeah.
To the death we hope for. And I kind of bring in the strike team.
I'll go, yeah, with their like soup bowls, because I don't like they're just like drinking water. Okay, click. And goes, what about you? I know that you came here when you were just a pup. I mean, obviously I did too, but you didn't really have any family with you, from what I remember.
No, my family died inside the walls the day of. my family friends tried to raise me inside the within the first months of the fall in the catacombs of one of the many religious places, and there are monsters always find their way. No bastion is safe, and we escaped from there. One of the Silver Order Knights, a man named God, I keep forgetting my own character names. Gerald. Him and his wife Yen. They're very good people, and and he went in on a strike mission for the Silver Order, and something happened to him real bad. Wasn't dead bad, worse than dead bad. Something was going on with him, and madness had taken him. They sent people to retrieve him, and he cut him down. So Yen went, because she, is a strong woman of the faith, and she taught me some magics of the divine. He taught me Way of the Sword, and unfortunately, I never heard what happened to either of them. It just kind of reported that that mission was a failure. I've been avoiding that part of Drakkenheim, just in case I come across their bodies. As you know, they don't rot out there. Fresh as the day they dropped. So I been doing it all in and out on my own here with the Silver Order, and taking whatever stealth missions are needed, intelligence, that sort of thing.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Ghost. And
Yeah.
Well, I understand a little bit about dodging areas of the city. I do the exact same for my family, for the exact same reason. So,
What part are you trying to avoid?
mine's primarily the northeastern portion.
That's where mine is.
Well, if we go there, let's do it together. That way we can face that particular vision.
To be included in a person's future plan to something this big is like you never know if someone likes you as a juvenile or like a teen or like young adult until they actually are like, hey, we should make a plan. And if that plan is even just like remotely convenient for them, you are like like they're like, hey, I'm going to Burger King, you want to ride? But
It's the
this
same
is
thing.
this is times 10 with someone being like, want to go to that place that terrifies us both to avenge our people we love. It's like, I will follow you anywhere.
To the very fires of Mount Doom.
Yeah, you see me just avoid the urge to kneel and swear our glorious death together in the fires of Drakkenheim.
Yeah, it's like you do, and she's like turned away. She's like talking, so she doesn't notice.
Yeah, it's like an anime where like I go through this epic monologue, this Shakespearean tale, like going through full bard position, and then when I'm done, she's just like turns back and goes, "Does Olivia want more? Olive want more bread?"
Yeah. Yeah. She's like, "Oh, did you drop something?"
Honestly, if we can make that canon in my head,
yeah,
that's just too funny.
that's funny.
Somehow it just hits different. All right. On that note, I'll just have say no, I look forward to rising to that occasion. It means a lot. I appreciate that. I admire your prowess, and you're one of the few people I trust. When I see you at the gate, I know that all's well when I come back.
That's very kind of you to say.
And on that note, I say, well, I'll leave you to it. Where within the camp do you do you prefer to stay? Just in case I need to find you again for.
Oh, I'm usually just kind of gestures kind of over to one of the corners of the camp. Oh, I'm just in the barracks over there. You can feel free to just ask about it. The people will find me.
All
It's
right.
not a huge camp. Like, it's a decent sized camp, but it's not massive.
Right. All right. Well, the night captain has invited me to stay in camp. I honestly don't know where I'll spend my first night for the first time not having my back against a tree. So,
Rest assured, we have beds that are much more comfortable than trees here and much more safe. You are safe
Right.
within these walls, Ghost.
can I just kind of Ghost doesn't want to like bring logic or doubt into the conversation of his own mind, but he just smiles and nods and stands up and gives a just like a not too formal but just one of those casual, almost like an Irish goodbye with just enough recognition for the sound of him touching his +1 half plate. Little like, it's just like, oh shit, that's nice. It makes a nice sound.
Yeah.
King. Yeah, beautiful melodic note, and he is going to reach down and scritch Olive's head, and kind of carry the bag that she kind of sleeps in, and heads out.
Great. And as Erasmus is leaving, you just hear, the conversation start up again, kind of around as it gets back on the topic of the strike team heading out, and you just hear over your shoulder, "Nice armor," and just kind of joins the conversation again as you walk out of the mess hall.
I kind of half turn, like the corner of my eye facing the group and give him like the friendly wave. And as soon as I'm around the corner, I go, sublime, sublime.
Nailed it. 10 out of 10.
Gonna carry that compliment in your heart until the day you die.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it'll be etched.
Tattooing nice armor on his chest, right?
Could get a +5 like plate armor, and adamantine armor never take that +1 breastplate
It'll
off.
never take it off. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Was that her saying that? Just
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. All right. That's. I'm gonna find a place in the barracks. And I honestly, God, this is so in character, but Ghost would have a really fucking hard time sleeping around people. Like a barracks is like the worst kind of place. He's gonna try, and he's gonna give up, and he's gonna leave.
Where
He would try
would you go back
so
to the
hard.
tree?
He's gonna go back to the tree, the same tree that it's almost like the scratching of his own breastplate that was braced against the tree marks the different years of his own. Like it's like how like some houses have that beautiful height marker on the doorway. The tree has these scars from him having just slept with blade and armor pressed up against it over the years. And granted, the tree has grown, so it's kind of grown with him, but he's had a recent and enormous growth spurt in the last 2 years of his life, between 16 and 19, where he actually got his man first aspect of being a sharp, cheekboned, slight facial hair look. So
Awesome.
Yep. Back to the tree.
Head back to the tree. In Phalese, so you have an option in Emberwood. The tavern doesn't actually have any rooms. That's just kind of like not the place it is.
Right.
But what they do is they there's like various different. Huts is not the correct image
Cottages?
to conjure. Cottages is a much better. Yeah, small cottages. and they will rent those out to you at the tavern.
Absolutely.
For you to,
and I will assure them that the Silver Order has offered to cover everything. I didn't remember to acquire a writ from them, but
they just go, we know where to find them. It's
excellent. Yes,
it's fine.
If this is not the case, we'll beat you to death.
Yeah, it's like we know where they are, and should you be lying, then we'll send the Queen's Men after you.
If they serve food here, yeah, like if they got like a pot, like some pottage going, I'll be like, yeah, and I'll just on my tab, yeah. And I'm going to just sprint out to this cottage, immediately go in, slam the door, put the food down, and not eat it. I can't remember if I grabbed one of those ever burning torches. Like were in the temple down below, were the torches proper ever burning torches, or like could they be extinguished?
They were proper. Well,
I know the candles were extinguishable, but like were any of those unextinguishable?
None of the torches were, but you did get a scroll of like ever burning. And you used, I think you got two, you used one.
We used one.
Yeah.
I think Ryan has the other one. Oh well. Whatever lighting I can muster up. I'm gonna get that going. Probably the sword included. And
you got a very bright sword, so.
Yeah, I'm going to like just kind of like set out like move the furniture, set out a clear spot on the floor, and I'm gonna get that shard of delirium out. And I'm just gonna spend, I think, most of the night just minutely examining it and and making notes on like its how it refracts light, like any kind of eddies and magical currents, like waving the sword back and forth and see if I can like generate any kind of like magical currents or anything like that. I just want to do as much just minutely detailed experimentation with it as I can, trying to understand it. And I think I might need to make a roll. I recall last when I touched it, I got a point of corruption.
Yes.
I don't believe I rolled to see if I mutate.
So that doesn't happen on the first one. It happens.
It's every time you get one, you roll a d6, and if you roll equal to or lower than your corruption level, the mutation happens. So on the first one, there's no symptoms attached to it. But
yes,
you could mutate.
Yes. Well, so that's the. You are absolutely right. Yes. Cool. Okay. So yeah, you have
anything but a 1 will be fine.
Yes.
That's a 1.
Oh no. Okay. Can you roll a d20 for me?
D20. Okay.
Nice.
Some of these are not bad. Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are not great, but some of them
are. Okay. That's a 5.
A 5. Okay. Oh, this is one of the not great ones. It's not terrible, but it's not fun. So as you're kind of examining the delirium, you start to notice.
Point, I'm like examining the skin where I touched it and be like, it's really interesting that nothing that I'm not suffering any symptoms. That's fantastic. I must have some kind of inborn immunity, right? And I'm like trying to like drip some of my blood onto it to like see like how the blood interacts with it.
So as you are kind of performing a lot of these things, in the spot that you touched it, you start to get blisters, welts. And it starts to kind of like it hurts quite a bit. It doesn't actually give me damage die, so I'm going to say you don't lose any health from it.
I've just got some nasty blisters and welts. on
You
my
got
hands.
it says painful blisters, welts, and multicolored lesions appear all over your skin, which burst and peel off painfully. So not fun for you. At a level 1, I'm gonna say it's not horrible. So it's definitely like you could wrap your hands and you could cover it. But you start to see that happening.
Oh, well, I'll have to take care of this at some point. And I'm going to go back to studying it. And at the end of the long rest, I roll a d20 to see if I acquire another level.
I think
just
yes.
barely missed it.
Yes.
Yeah,
Did you get a 2?
On a natural 1 on a d20, I would acquire another level.
Yeah.
I rolled a 2.
Love that. Love that. You're absolutely right on that. Yes. So you have the, yep, same one. Cool. So you don't get another, or you don't roll on the mutation table again. You're fine.
Yeah. In principle, you know,
Yeah.
I know all the theory on how to cure such corruption. Not so much the practice side of things, but I know how it's done roughly. I'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Man, some of these are wild. Yeah, so you could definitely get that fixed. There are ways to remove it, so it's not a big deal. But
it does. I don't think I will be able to remove it myself. Just because I think that kind of conflicts with the limitation that I put on Feyli's spell casting.
Yeah, it's specific magic.
Yeah.
And,
So
yeah.
I got the medical expert feat, so you know, I'm gonna just put some little ointment on that and wrap it up cleanly.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna kind of keep that hand tucked in my robes for a bit.
Okay, love that. Great. So you are currently at 1 contamination level, and you have 1 mutation. And it doesn't cause any actual damage to you. It's just physically you are going to start having these painful blisters if it starts to get worse, and then obviously your mutations grow from there. So
this is incredible. I've been enjoying this immensely. I was talking, I didn't realize I was muted, but I've been thinking, holy shit, this is the beginning of some pretty incredible character development here. Or at least the beginning of the end. I don't know. But what is the mechanical element of this?
So the mechanical element is every single time that you interact with delirium, like touch delirium, you get a contamination. Let me see.
Or like you have a chance, or
there's
you will.
There's it says something. I think touching delirium causes contamination. Yeah, like if you touch it with your bare hand. I think that's a guaranteed. There are other things that will cause it. I think the haze can cause it in certain situations.
Casting any kind of contaminated spells.
Yeah,
if anyone will do that.
Those are risky ones. So essentially, what happens is once you get contamination, every single time you long rest, you have to roll to see if it spreads. The minute it spreads, you have to roll on the mutation table to see if you get a mutation from your spreading contamination.
And it's more likely each time.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly, because you roll a d6, and if you are, you have to be above it in order to not get a mutation. So the more contamination you have, you get contamination symptoms. So it's harder to do stuff as your contamination level goes up.
Is his character, is your character affected mechanically in any way?
Not yet. I think what the thing I got is this is foreshadowing for a bad thing that might happen later.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's the beginning.
You can remove contamination by various different kind of ways. There are various different spells. Clerics can do it. Magic can do it. Various different types of.
I don't
but
think
they're
there's a way
very
to
specific.
remove mutations, right?
Like
those are
technically if you clear them, it depends on the mutation. But if you clear the contamination, the mutations do go away unless they are like a big problem. So if you go from 3 contamination to 1 to 0, your mutations eventually will go away, but if, like, for whatever reason you lost an arm to a mutation, then
Right.
you have to have, like, a different spell to restore the arm. But, like, the spells that clear the contamination do get rid of the mutations as well, but they can't, like, regrow limbs. If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, here we go. An effect which removes the contamination level also removes one randomly determined mutation.
Oh, neat.
All contamination symptoms and all mutations are removed if a creature's contamination level is reduced below 1. So if you get a 0, you're cured. If you've lost, like, a limb or something, you have to have that, like, regenerated. But otherwise, your mutations go away once you hit 0 contamination.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do my best to rest up, get healthy for tomorrow.
Great. Yeah. So each of you get a long rest. Go ahead and take your long rest. For those of you who practice, you get a mutation. And then the next day dawns, and Pheles, one of the things you notice when you wake up is that there's been a note kind of slipped under your door that has the logo of the Hooded Lantern on it.
Oh, very cool.
And you know that just because you studied everything about, like, Emberwood Village and Drakkenheim, just kind of like before you showed up, you're like, I need to know all the stuff, right? So you recognize the symbol.
Bailey's gonna very excitedly tear it open, and probably hurt himself because he wasn't like I don't think his hand was hurting this moment, and so he just reaches out with it, and is gonna spend a moment just kind of catching his breath, and then he's gonna tear the letter open.
Okay. Okay. There's actually two. I'll let you choose. There's 2 letters. One is actually from the Amethyst Academy, which obviously is the logo better than anybody. But then also the Hooded Lanterns. They just kind of are slipped under the door.
I think I'm gonna look at the Amethyst Academy one.
That's kind
so
of what
they
I thought.
do
Okay.
know how to send mail. So I'm definitely gonna open this one first.
Yeah.
This is a special occasion.
Yeah. So you open it. It's from River, and she says that she would like to meet you and your cohorts about. She had heard of your journey into Drakkenheim, your successful journey into Drakkenheim, that you got in and got out and survived. Not necessarily anything in particular of the specifics, but you got in and you got out of Drakkenheim, which is no small feat, and would like to ask for your help in retrieving some delirium, but wants to have a meeting with you and your acquaintances.
Oh, wonderful.
And then the other one is the Hooded Lanterns. It depends if you want to open that one or not.
Yeah, definitely want to open that one up.
Okay. So this one is from someone you haven't met yet, and it's quite kind of a longer letter, which is interesting. So clearly the Hooded Lanterns know how to write better letters than the Amethyst Academy does. But it's
or they care more about
or they care more, yeah. And it's a character named Ansem Lang, and again had heard about your foray into Drakkenheim. Newer people, and I say newer in kind of air quotes, but like newer forays into Drakkenheim usually can be persuaded away from whatever alliances they already have a little bit easier, or at least to help them run errands or do a thing, or like, hey, you're not as busy as like a knight would be of the Knight of the Silver Order.
And you're not so committed that this is like a betrayal that you're going to be punished for necessarily.
Exactly.
You're still playing the field.
Yeah, and so the letter that Ansem has written is actually a plea to help him find his sister, Petra. she was ambushed the previous evening. So not the night you just woke up, but the night before when you were in Drakkenheim. Was ambushed during a kind of a quick supply run through the city, and was taken by what seemed like rats. From all descriptions that in the letter it sounds like, but then also was given multiple descriptions in the letter, so it just sounds like almost like humanoid rats or larger rats. And seems like Petra was taken west, closer to the city walls, and they have some scouts out there now, and if you were willing and able, it would be amazing if you could help Ansem locate Petra.
Oh my goodness, yes.
To save his sister.
Definitely. I think like in this moment, Bailey's is just giddy, right? He went into Drakkenheim once, and people are treating him with respect. They're giving him money.
And there is a promise of both of these for reward as well. The prices are not given. One says great reward, and one says reward for your help.
Right. I think Bailey's just kicking himself for not coming here 40 years ago. I mean,
before,
like getting established, so he was ready to go in immediately after the meteors. So definitely, if I have time before our assigned meeting time, I'm going to sprint off to. Do I know where the Hood Lanterns are based out of within Emberwood?
They are. Let me pull it up. Literally just saw this. Where did it go? The Watchtower. So there's a couple. Emberwood Watchtower, Shepherd's Gate, and then there's a Drakkenheim garrison. So probably the Emberwood Watchtower would be my guess for what you are looking for, which is to the north, close to Drakkenheim. It's kind of like the furthest, kind of tallest building on the north side of Emberwood towards Drakkenheim.
Yeah, just gonna sprint off, taking breaks to catch my breath, and then just try to compose himself. And walk with as much dignity as he can muster through the door, while also trying really hard to hide how heavily he's breathing.
Love that. So as you're kind of moving towards the watchtower, you kind of come within view, and you're starting to kind of work your way there, and you puff yourself up, straighten yourself out, make sure that your sword is visible and very much looking presentable. And you start to.
I'm not sure what to do with this sword. Like we gotta get enough money that I can hire a guy to carry it for me.
You imagine it's just some big dude.
Unseen servant. It's fine.
So funny.
Ivan, hand me my sword.
Quickly, I must dispatch these rascals. And you put one foot up on the staircase to climb the 5 or 6 stairs to get into the watchtower. And from the larger bush next to the staircase, a hand shoots out and just pulls you right into the bushes. And you come face to face with Ansem Lang, who it's from. You've seen Ansem around, but it's the reputation mainly that immediately clocks you. Ansem is wearing a captain's badge, kind of full guard of the Hooded Lanterns, hood up and everything. But you see as you get pulled close, close enough to actually see Ansem's face, he's 16. A 16-year-old captain does not bode well for the Hooded Lanterns. And yet here Ansem is. And so he pulls you in.
I don't have any money.
And it's just shh, I know you don't have any money yet. I I sent you the letter. The problem is that I'm risking insubordination by even coming to you at all. And, about Petra. I assume you're here about Petra. Otherwise, this is going to be really...
absolutely.
Okay, great.
I'm sorry to hear that the Hooded Lanterns have been more supportive of you in this.
They firmly believe that if one of us goes missing, then we're not going to waste any people to go and rescue them. That they are lost to Drakkenheim. The concept is the larger picture.
Yeah, a well-considered policy, and also one that you should not feel bound to.
I agree, especially when it comes to family. Petra is my sister. I left her to die, and I need to go and save her.
Yes. If you'd like to accompany my compatriots and I believe we were heading right back in today. We had a great haul yesterday.
Great, good. Great to hear that. And he kind of moves his kind of shirt and vest, and you see that there's like a wound, almost like a bullet hole, except it's like a small hole, like from a
Did a
sling.
rat do that to you?
And he says, "Well, they're half rat, half something else, but yeah, they hit me
Check
with."
this out. And I'm just immediately
He goes, "Ugh!"
him and prodding him with pull out some surgical instruments, and I'm just gonna poke at it a little bit.
Go ahead and roll a medicine check. Go ahead and roll a medicine check.
All right, that's going to be a 17.
17. Yeah. So this wound one was created by a sling bullet. So really fast, small stone, just flung almost expertly, which is pretty impressive. And it is contaminated. So he has some contamination from the haze in this wound that he has to get looked at from a healer.
Oh yeah, that's rough. Do you have someone to take care of that?
Yeah, I will. They're a little tied up at the moment, but yeah, I will.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do it myself, but of course I'm gonna need to reserve all of my my magical power for defeating these rats, of course.
Of course, yeah, I completely understand. Anyways, I can give you 250 gold. How many? You had 3, right?
Yes,
that was the rumor. 3.
There's 3 of us.
Okay, I can give you 250. From my understanding of how these ratlings work, they keep prey, and you see him like struggling with this conversation. He's talking about his sister. They keep them alive for a fresh meal later.
Oh, well, that's wonderful news.
Well, it means she's alive. So I guess wonderful is not the word I would use, but
for the short straw, you know.
Well, okay, this isn't.
The odds are in our favor.
I hope so. If you manage to find her and get out, I will, from my own pocket, pay for her ransom, 250 per person, and I will put in a good word with the leader of the Hood Lanterns for you, if you can help.
Well, look, I tell you what, I was planning on investigating this rat situation anyways. Let's say provisionally, this is pro bono. But you know, with the option to walk that back if this turns out to be incredibly terrible. How's that sound?
That sounds fantastic. I would really appreciate that. That sounds amazing.
I mean, I've never gotten to rescue a sister before. This is exciting. You know what? I was. Now, you implied that you wanted to accompany us in. Are you sure about that? You do seem injured.
I won't be able to. I have to wait for the healer.
Good.
Yeah, I want to. I need to be clear. I want to.
And if our first foray turns up nothing and you're feeling better at that point, perhaps,
then I will happily join you. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely.
Well, if we're still alive this evening, hopefully we'll have something to show.
That would be great.
Wonderful. and he's just gonna sprint away out of the bush.
Okay, and he like you see Ansem like get up and kind of like move out of the bush, and you just boom. You just, okay. Well, that was easy.
And then wait, stop, run back, pick up his wand where he dropped it, and then start going again.
This is face on his look of like, I don't know if I picked the right people, but we're gonna see how this goes.
Just like running over just immediately to the Amethyst Academy, or like the Amethyst Academy. Where are they located?
It's the Red Lion Hotel's where River is, so you'll have to like it's like back down towards like the central area, and then it's like up to the northwest. So you're kind of like going back down the road and then back up like a hill.
Yeah. So I think he's gonna try to like cut through and like do a shortcut and end up taking way longer because he's gonna climb over people's fences. But he's eventually gonna make it over to the Red Lion Inn.
Great. So you kind of open the hotel and you, quite frankly, why you didn't come here to stay? Big big question. Not sure why. You went instead to the Gilded Lily, and the Gilded Lily rents out the cottages. But the Red Lion Hotels.
I didn't want to be a bother.
Yeah, it's nice, but it's not like you have your own private little cottage. That's kind of cool. And you don't have to pay for it, so that's nice too.
Also, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be doing my magical research with a bunch of snoopy mages.
Which is true, considering River is sitting in the middle of the room, like next to one of the larger fireplaces, reading one of the many tomes that she has on this little stack of.
You look like you might be River.
Yes, she's wearing the robes of the Amethyst Academy. I am River.
Who are you?
Thales?
Really pull off the priest robes. Okay, wait. I'm sorry. I'm all flustered today. I'm running around. What's up?
Well, I'm very glad that you answered my summons.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Absolutely. What's it about?
I need you to help go in and retrieve a large delirium shard for me.
Oh, a large delirium shard. Well,
yes,
I'd be happy to. What do you need?
Excellent. Well, it's out near. She kind of puts her book. It's like a tall stack. Closes the book and puts it on top and rifles through robes and pulls it out and goes. Pulls out glasses, puts them on. The Rat's Nest Tavern is where this was last seen. It's a big shard, pretty big. Looks like it's valued in a bag.
I was just talking with my compatriot about he was telling me about how the Rat's Nest was struck directly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So this shard is it's big. It'll be gonna be rough to carry. It's about 1,000 gold valued, which, I mean, you know delirium, right? It's a pretty big shard. I'll pay you 1250 for it.
1250. That's a fair rate. Yeah, I'm glad that you came to me. I appreciate that. I appreciate you putting that trust in me. But yeah, we'd be happy to recover it for you. Anything else we should know while we were there? Presumably, this was reported by a scout, or are we just sort of inferring that there must be a big shard there?
We're kind of inferring that there would be a large shard there, would be my guess. I will say that there were rumors of seeing larger delirium shards at the Rat's Nest, and when people say large delirium shards, usually what they mean is the price point that I gave you. Because 500 gold shard is pretty big, right? You can fit in, it's half the size of your forearm. It's pretty sizable. You can hold it, but it's pretty sizable. A large shard, those are much rarer and much more potent. So,
quite right. Do you have any I'm set up a little bit for containment, but for something that large, do you have something for transporting it, or is there a procedure? This is I've never quite I needed to manage a shard quite that large.
I don't really have anything in terms of containment or transportation.
No trouble at all. I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Now, DM.
Yes.
How heavy we talking with this large shard? Is this like toddler sized, or is this like Winnebago sized?
It's not Winnebago size. No, it's
Okay,
it's
okay,
a
okay.
little bigger than toddler size. Like a single person couldn't carry it, but it would be with both arms.
Cool. Easy.
So yeah, it wouldn't be like someone using a sword wouldn't be able to use. They would have to carry it with both arms. But it's not like a heavy piece. It's just large. So you can even, if you need to, you can figure out some way to strap it to your back and carry it. That's totally a thing that you can do.
Does River have any supplies of the Amethyst Academy available for sale?
I forget. Let's see. I feel like she does. Let me double check. She has some spell scrolls and potions. That's about it.
Okay. Sorry. Is she willing to sell them?
Yes.
Hell
yes.
yeah. What she got?
Let's see. What does she have? She has not many. No, not many. She has 2 spell scrolls, uncommon, and 2 potions, which would just be like potions of healing.
Okay.
So they would just be for standard price times 2. Because the price is in Drakkenheim.
And the spell scrolls are just kind of whatever I might ask for? Or
yeah, it just says uncommon spell scrolls. I'm assuming she's a mage, so either wizard or sorcerer would be my guess for those. So whichever of those strikes your fancy.
Elsewhere in Drakkenheim, would it be possible to pick up a spell focus, a component pouch, and a Red Rider wagon?
The Red Rider wagon, probably not.
Okay.
But the other stuff, yeah, you can definitely buy that within town. We don't even have to kind of.
We'll build a sledge then somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna run off until I get to the is it a temple? I forget.
The chapel. Is it
the ruined chapel, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna I'm gonna collect those and then run off there, and I'll pay double for those.
Okay. Yeah, we can. If you want to we can figure that out later.
Yeah.
From the player handbook, and we'll double that. Okay. Great. So we'll go ahead and we will end there for this session with the understanding that everyone's going to kind of meet at the Chapel of St. Ardena with the High Flame Keeper.
Going back in.
And kind of get prepped for another day, but we can kick that off kind of bright and early with a new goal for next session, which is exciting. But we'll go ahead and we'll end there. Thanks y'all for joining. We will see you again in episode 5, where we head back into the cursed city of Drakkenheim. So
thank you.
It's always so much fun to watch you guys.